Hello everyone and welcome to the Stoop, where today we welcome a team known the world around for playing rugby the proper way, in the spirit of the game, throwing it around, scoring great tries and entertaining the masses. And the great news for you is the Barbarians are coming as well. Yes, it's Harlequins versus the Barbarians, live from the Stoop in the glorious sunshine. And it's great to have your company wherever you're watching around the world. Not just great to have your company, great to have the company. Bryony Cleal as well. Thank you for joining us. Shorts and t-shirt in October. This is all right, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think we've got a weekend off with the women, so to be back at the Stoop, getting to watch these two teams play, it's a perfect weekend off for me.
Well, we're going to talk about the Barbarians, obviously, but let's talk about Harlequins women and you as well. What are you, 3 tries in 2 games, 10 points from 2 games for the team? What a start to the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've started the season on a flyer, as it said, and personally, yeah, I have done too, but it's just so enjoyable to be back at the Stoop playing rugby and being with the group of girls we have. And I know it's the same with the boys. They've got such a good group that when you come play at the Stoop, it's days like this what you remember. So yeah, we're onto a fly, and hopefully the boys also up in Nottingham and here can also have a performance today. Yeah,
big day for the club, of course. 2 squads are live. It is the men against Nottingham in the Premiership Rugby Cup, and we're here in the sunshine with the Barbarians. You talked about sort of memories there. You've got so many. You've been a Premiership champion. You've played for just about every club in London, you've represented the Red Rose, but you've made a lot of memories. What sort of memories do you think the guys will make today, both in the Barbarians jerseys and those who get to play against them too?
Well, firstly, we're in this, obviously I've mentioned the Stoop so many times, but it's such a good place to play rugby, and it's such a good place to chuck a ball about and have fun. And we always remember the people we play with, and that's made great by just that jouet kind of way of playing, that proper way of playing rugby, that freedom to express yourselves behind a ball, on a ball, and off a ball, and very much Quins, we get that freedom. The Barbarians have that in abundance as well. There's next week they're all back off their own clubs. There's no DOR telling them you should have done that, you should have done this. They get to do what they want when they want, and we love that as rugby players. Sometimes we lose it when we have such structures to play for, or we get told at this phase you do this, or first 3 phases we do this, this and this. But actually sometimes we see the best out of players and the best out of people when we let them run riot as such. So yeah, especially when you get that freedom in a game, you remember it for a long time, and they'll be talking about, I don't know, the heel, the kick over the top of the line, or the up the t-shirt ball, or the 2-person missed pass. They'll be talking about it for years, these boys, because they never really get that freedom to play with.
Well, that's going to be the tough thing today, isn't it? Because of course we want to see the freedom, we want to see the jouet, but they've got a Premiership season to prepare for, so it's going to be striking that balance between the two today, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the reason Quins have got such a strong team out today as well is because they know that this is a great game to prepare them for when the Premiership starts, because it's so important, like we said with us, to be on a flyer when you start. It's no good catching your tail up 2 games into this season. Every point counts and every game counts when you're playing in the Premiership, when it's so competitive, and it's in only 10 teams now. So it's really important that they go out there and they are making sure they put a performance out there, and individually as well, because they'll all want to be saying, look, I'm in the form, I'm ready to go when the Premiership starts.
They're going to have a lot of fun today. We are going to have a lot of fun as well. It's a great day of rugby celebration here at the Stoop, but before we go any further, let's take this opportunity to say thank you to our partners.
You push harder, drive yourself further, and never settle. No one's born a champion. You get there through hard graft, through having the mental and physical strength to wake up before the sun, ready to take on whatever lies ahead. It's unmatched dedication, dogged determination, and unrelenting pursuit to achieve more. That's your mindset. We share your belief in the power of grit and tenacity, and never letting up until you reach your goal. Because you know your efforts in the shadows are the reason people see your success. So whether you want to break world records or smash your personal best, we've got you. We're always fueling you, driving you forward and celebrating every victory together. We are Rain Total Body Fuel. We are ready to reign.
idea about the business world. It is important to sort of save what you can, because rugby is not a sport where you can retire at the age of 30 and be set for life like football.
Players, yeah, we won't be beaten. A-game, whatever the season, we bring the heat when it gets freezing. Grind hard, we don't fear pain, we got big plays for big games. Harlequins, that's a big name, stay hungry for winning a big taste. We're players, yeah, we won't be beaten. A-game, whatever the season, we bring the heat when it gets freezing.
Well, yes, excitement's building, pitch side, the players are beginning to warm up, but we've stolen a few moments with the head honchos of the Barbarians and Quins. We've got Laurie and Billy alongside us. So we got you both together because you're not just opposition coaches, you're old muckers from back home, is that right?
Yeah, we've known each other quite a while now. I first ran into Bill, I don't know, maybe 2002, 2003 with Australian universities, so a lot of water under a bridge since then.
Water under the bridge. Billy, a bit of inside knowledge on how Laurie operates as well to use today?
Yeah, well, I think young in my coaching career in Australia, Laurie was a bit of a legend way back then. So, I've always followed his career. He's a brilliant coach, and it's great to catch up with him again.
Well, Laurie, you've got a pretty esteemed CV amongst clubs, but now you've got 7 weeks with the Barbars under your belt. How are you feeling after 7 weeks on tour?
Yeah, look, I'm a little run down, but it's been an incredible experience. Look, it's a wonderful opportunity to be a part of such a great club that has an amazing history in world rugby. So it's been a real honour. The boys have been fantastic for the whole tour. Yeah, they've engaged in the spirit of Barbarians rugby on and off the field, but we've tried to present well on weekends and put in a good performance. I'm hoping today will be no different.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who's a rugby fan is aware of the history and the traditions of the Barbars, and the game weeks are probably approached a little bit more differently, a little bit more socially, but being together for 7 weeks, there's got to be a bit of a change, I guess, with you guys. You've got to know each other very well. I imagine pretty aspirational as well with every game that you're heading into.
Well, it has been a little bit different to a standard Barbarians tour, because the point of it was to have a core of Australian and Japanese players on call for World Cup for injuries. So they've actually had to train at reasonable intent and intensity and keep themselves in good condition. Australia's probably opportunity's gone. Japan is still alive, so we've still got half the squad who have got something to play for.
I think by a mathematical miracle, Australia are actually still alive, Laurie, so let's not do them down just yet. But look, Billy, you're basically playing against an Australia A side, with Japanese internationals thrown in there, so it's a big test for Quins today.
Well, it's a massive test and a great test before we go into our first game against Gloucester. A lot of these boys were well and truly in the Wallaby mix under Dave Rennie, and I've followed some of their careers as well, and they're serious footballers, and I know these guys would have prepped them brilliantly. They have actually, for a Barbars team, they've spent a lot of time together, so we're expecting a massive challenge today.
Well, I think that the way teams usually approach playing the Barbars, they've maybe got a different psychology, a bit more freedom, but from what I understand, the Quins psychology is, hey, the Prem starts next week against Gloucester.
Yeah, it's a real balance, isn't it? We certainly can't get dragged into some ridiculous stuff, even though, that's going to be a challenge, because we've got a lot of guys out there that like to play that way. But no, this is about prepping for Gloucester and being really disciplined in certain areas and putting our best foot forward with momentum going into next week.
Look, we touched upon the test quality that the Barbars have got. I'd love to talk about some of the youngsters in the Quins lineup today. Finn Baxter, Nathan Jabulu packing down in the front row, and you've got some real stardust in the likes of Connor Slevin, Cassius Cleves. How impressed have you been with those young men through the Prem Cup campaign? Yeah,
they're awesome. I mean, they've been developing our system a long time, so I keep telling them, what are you waiting for? They're getting to that 21, 22, and Nathan in particular has been outstanding, and we've got a lot of guys up in Nottingham today, some young guys and even younger guys who are in our system, so it's a big weekend for the club.
Yeah. Is this very much an audition for those youngsters to have their say in the Premiership this year?
Yeah, I think even next week we've got about 7 spots up for grabs, so some of the boys went up to get game time at Nottingham, and today we've let them know that they know that there are spots up for grabs next week.
And Laurie, what about you? What do you make of the outfit you're facing today? I saw earlier in the week that you guys have really been targeting this one as the big occasion here at the Stoop.
We expected Harlequins to select a strong side for the very reasons that Bill's just outlined. The Premiership's a week away. Gloucester was similar last week, and they played their Premiership type games. So we've defended a lot of mauls over the last few weeks, as you would expect. But they also, they've got some real quality out wide, and just listening to the Harlequins rap from last week about fast start and about their offload game and their support game. So I think Harlequins have got a great balance of the ability to go through you once they get into the score zone, but some great skill and adventure out wide. So it should be a great matchup.
So we've got a serious match on our hands on the field, but can we rest easy that there'll be a bit of fun off it come the final whistle in true Barbarian style? Oh,
look, there'll be, from my perspective, a Guinness or two had. So I can't speak on behalf of Billy, but I'm sure we'll have a beer to celebrate at the end.
Lovely stuff, chaps. Look, I'm going to let you get back to your charges. We're looking forward to seeing them in action. So we heard from the head honcho. Also, we caught up with the captains yesterday, so let's have a hear to what they had to say.
Yeah, the cap run was pretty good. We sort of stuffed around there a little bit at the start and then just got through what we needed to. So yeah, the boys are feeling good. It's a nice deck here, so yeah, excited to play. Obviously this is our last game and it's been long, and we started off really well, and then we've had 2 really tough games and just gone down in those. So we're looking to finish the tour on a high. Yeah, like I said, we started really well and we're playing exciting footy. In the last 2 weeks we've sort of gone away from that a little bit. So tomorrow, yeah, we're going to look to throw it around and have some fun while also playing some quality footy, because we know that the Quins will be up for it. Yeah, like I said, they're going to be tough. You know, last week against Gloucester, we got found out sort of trying to almost play a little bit too much, and we dropped a lot of ball. I think it's going to be similar this week with a really solid defence, solid kicking game. So yeah, look, we're excited for our last game. Yeah, super excited. Probably this is the one place that everyone was most excited about playing at, and it's just fitting that it's our last game. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be super easy for us to get up, and yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, the prep's been going really well this week, building off obviously the performance of last week against Surrey. So yeah, it's an exciting fixture for us playing against the Barbarians at the Stoop. So second game against the Barbarians. So yeah, very excited. Yeah, a strong side out this week against the Barbarians. We're obviously building for our first game against Gloucester, so we're using this game to prepare for that game against Gloucester, and obviously getting game time under the belt for most of the boys before we're at the big one, the first game in the Prem. Yeah, that's all we're really after, is a strong performance from our side. Everything we've done in the pre-season we want to see out on the field this weekend against the Barbarians. We know what they'll bring to the party. They're exciting, they want to throw the ball around, but for us it's all about our preparation, everything we've done in the pre-season and this week leading up to the Gloucester. There's a few boxes we want to tick this weekend as a team, so hopefully we can get that, and that would prepare us well for the week after. Yeah, I think we should expect a really entertaining match. I think the Barbarians is it's awesome playing for them. Every person putting on that jersey want to express themselves, but also putting in a performance for the Barbarians like any other club. So we can expect a really strong performance from them, and that's the perfect match for us to test ourselves before the season starts. So yeah, I think they'll come out, they'll try and express themselves, play the typical Barbarians way. I don't expect anything else from them. Maybe a few beers for them on halftime, which we won't be able to do, but yeah, I think it's one for the fans to look forward to, one with hopefully a lot of tries, and it's really exciting.
Well, good afternoon everybody. This is rather nice, isn't it? Welcome to the Costa del Stoop. Sweltering temperatures, the mercury rising, and the excitement to go with it, because the greatest nomads to ever trot the rugby globe are in town. You heard right there from the captains, from Stefan Levies, it's the one the fans look forward to the most. Whilst for the Barbarians, it's the one place everyone was most excited to be playing at. Well, some players wait a lifetime to play the Barbars, but for 6 of today's Harlequins, it'll be the second time in just 324 days, with Will Evans, Alex Dombrandt and Finn Baxter starting just as they did in this fixture last November. What a day for Nathan Jabulu. Just 5 Quinn senior appearances to his name, and today packing down against the most legendary touring team of them all, and not yet 21 years of age. He's got the experience of Joe Launchbury and captain Stefan Levies behind him, but there's an even fresher Quinn amongst the ranks as Welsh fly half Jared Evans dons the quarters for the very first time. But there's more than Aussie twang to this lineup, with 17 of the 23 hailing from down under. There's full-blown Wallabies like Tom Wright and Harry Wilson, and ones laying in wait for the future like Dylan Peach and Ryan Lonergan. None of them would look out of place in France right now, that's for sure. And for the land of the rising sun and Japan and its League One, there's healthy representation also, with Taichi Takahashi arriving to these shores in a rich vein of scoring form and leaving these shores with a hat-trick at Ashton Gate. Ryan Lonergan captains the side with his brother Lachlan starting at hooker, with memories of his first Wallaby try coming just under a year ago, just across the Severn Bridge against Wales. For the tourist, Josh Canham adds a real dynamism as a rangy second row, while Scotsman Damien Hoyland flies the Northern Hemisphere flag wearing 23. Well, the fans are in, you're tuned in, and I'm delighted to say that Bryony Keall and Matt Simmons are in. Guys, what a day!
Yeah, absolutely, what a day. I think it's October, but the sun is shining for us, so I can't wait for this game.
I'm in shorts, Birkenstocks, never happier.
I'm so jealous because I've got my outfit completely wrong. Long sleeve and trousers. I am baking it. Is this going to be tough for the players out there, these conditions?
Well, they've spent the last, 12 weeks in pre-season in some pretty hot conditions out in England, I know. The Aussies will find it easy, but us English might. But, 8 weeks of hard slogging down at Surrey Sports Park, hopefully they'll be all right today.
The boys will be very well acclimatised. I bet they can't wait to rip in.
Well, Quins can't wait to rip in, and we can't wait to see the quarters and these famous hoops take to the field here in West London in Wild West temperatures. Once again, there's nothing quite like the Barbarian show coming to town, and with 17 Australians, 5 Japanese and 1 Scot, there is a great cohesion amongst the team that are looking to sign their 7-week tour off in some style. Well, the captain described this match as the big one. The big one in the final step of preparation before the Premiership gets underway. And what a show they're putting on here at the Stoop. A good man in the middle pursing his lips for this one, Craig Maxwell-Keys, one of the very best in the Premiership in Europe. He's going to have his hands full with talent aplenty each side of the ball.
Cheers, Bob. Thank you, mate.
Which has just been delivered by the DHL truck.
And then on the screen on a 10-second.
The hearty crowd here in West London is readying itself
I think we're going on the screen.
for the great entertainers of West London against the club with no home, but one that always has a roof over its head in the hearts of rugby romantics round the world. Well, we're away. The Barbars in possession. And Matt, I'm going to bring you in early to ask about how Quins are approaching this one.
Out of the loop these days, fully out the loop. So your guess is as good as mine. I can imagine they're going to try and keep it a little bit tight to start with.
Manage.
But the Barbars, as they always do, are going to throw it around, as we can see quite obviously in the first few plays.
I think you're keeping your cards close to your chest,
I am
aren't
keeping
you?
them very close.
Arms always across the front, never actually.
There is intel here to mine, and we will get the shovels and the pickaxes out over the next 80 minutes. An early penalty to the Barbars, who I can tell you haven't had the kind of week that you'd expect from the Barbars. It's been less time in the pub, more time on the pitch. They are laser focused to put in their strongest showing and come away with a big victory in West London today. And the line-out drill goes pretty nicely for Harry Wilson to peel off and invite Filippo Danguno to run at pace. Barbars into the heart of the Quins 22, looking rhythmic. Carry from Tom Lambert, still he goes.
No hands, John.
Lonergan.
Second back. Thank you.
Fishing around for the ball, Uru linking up to Peach, who finds a big shoulder, and he tries to squeeze the offload away.
It's a knock on, it hits a Quins player, so he's not actually
that ball out.
Well, a bright start from the Barbars.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most times, 9 times out of 10, you'll see an exit, a kick exit off a kick, and you're in your 22. But there we see the Barbars do what they do and throw the ball about and try and go out wide, and they've got success of it, get the penalty, kick it, line out, and unfortunately it's come off the head somewhere there, I think, trying to go Joe Marler on us, but it's stood in front of him means it's a scrum.
Yeah, very Quinsy to be going for the headed pass from the Barbars.
Very, yeah. If I was a betting man, I'd say Luke Northmore, left boot is coming up.
Set!
You're beginning to crack already.
I could be wrong. Or they may run it. He's creeping. Here we go.
Wow. Alex Dombrandt shoulders a responsibility on his own, and it's not the only shouldering in there. Big hit coming in on the number 8.
Yes,
and that is why I'm not a betting man.
Wait, what? Thank you.
But eventually, Will Porter clears the decks. And Will Porter is a man who I understand is impressed in the Quins camp since joining from Wasps. 50 caps split across his time at Wasps and Bristol, and now in the quarters of Quins. But it's the hoops that are bringing a bit of razzle-dazzle to take themselves out to the 15-metre channel. Well watched defensively.
Great counter-up from Quins there. That's really impressive.
Brilliant counter-ruck, and the first time to see Quins with the ball in hand. Tyrone Green. Oh, it was picked off by Ikitau. Did manage to knock it back, but that was an intercept opportunity gone. It's been a feature of the Barbarians games against Scarlets and Bristol. On this occasion, it's Quins the ones who are lucky to get away.
They do seem to be just going out wide, trying to get into the edge of Quins quite early on. Fortunately for Quins, both times they've gone out wide. Their counter ruck and their ruck indeed's been great. And you saw nearly Will Porter come through on the near side and take the counter ruck, but on the far side, Quins were successful with that. So yeah, it seems to be Barbars going out wide, and then Quins really hunting after that breakdown.
And we see a replay there, and the opportunity for Ikitau. 7-cap Wallaby. Plenty of caps to choose from in this Barbar side. You heard from Laurie Fisher before the game. But doesn't matter how many caps you've got, that ball can still be very mischievous to pick up when it's bumbling around the ankles, and a messy passage brings us to a scrum for the Barbars.
It'll be moments like that, I think, this game, it must be, with the Premiership starting next week, that Quins will be looking to make sure their set piece is ironed out, to try things with the set piece and make sure it's working for next week. So it'll be a bit gutting that first one's not gone a bit awry.
Yeah, absolutely, Bryony. There's a bigger plan in place, I think. So they will, looking to the season, so they will try and get them all going and try and tighten things up a little bit, at least to start with.
Do you think it's difficult for the players out there to not be sucked in to that sort of Harlem Globetrotter philosophy that the Barbars bring?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. The boys will want to be throwing it about, no doubt. But they will be strict instructions from up top within the coaching box to make sure they stick to the game plan. But it's very, very tempting.
Because as a spectator, I want to watch the Barbars have put on a show, and so as a Quinn, surely you want to put on that show too, knowing how big this picture is. So yeah, I suspect it's very difficult as a player to stay to their instructions.
Ryan Lonergan throws a loose ball out, but Dangunu is the man to get slow ball, and he finds Ikitau on his shoulder. Two large human beings in the centre to bail out any 10. But all the centres in the world won't be able to do anything about the pass from Debrasini. So after a fluid start from the Barbars, it's been a little bit fractured the last few minutes.
Yeah, it has, and I guess from a Quins perspective, looking at this line out, they want to build some confidence with Nathan Jabuli at a hooker, hence they're taking the front ball options.
Good contest. I've got dropped by his own
and Nathan Jabulu has seriously impressed.
Yes, please.
In the Prem Cup action. And Finn Baxter, who's a man who's impressed ever since he pulled on the jersey. A famous man of the match performance against Racing 92 right here in the Champions Cup. He's only 21 and he's already got 24 first team appearances to his name.
Good choice.
But at the moment, it's all about this Wallaby bar setup, and you're seeing the connection there between Wright and Wilson.
Outstanding work there from Will Evans. Barbars clearly have a game plan of offloading in the tackle, and he's poached that very well.
Well, Evans was the disruptor, but Wright was there to mop it up before Nick David.
Inside.
Bearing 15 calls the mark and clears the decks, and Quins just can't get their hands on the ball for any concerted time.
No, they can't. They nice exit off the line out. Will Porter put the box kick in, but they just can't get the ball. Will Evans turned the ball over brilliantly in the breakdown, but unfortunately the Barbars turned it straight back over. So they just haven't been able to get the hands on the ball and play anything at the moment.
Well, the line out is purring. Uru off the top. Debrasini bringing in Wilson. Real dynamo in the red head guard.
Everyone's on. Hold them up.
Well covered from Beard.
Yeah, you're good.
He finds Tom Wright.
Great work from Oscar Beard there. Great kick, great chase.
Almost evades the tackle of Beard, but just catching the ankles. It's a tackle
We're on
that
here, lads.
people
We're
love
on
to
here.
see.
Let's go wide.
And there's the call, send it wide. Lovely ball, fist across the face, inviting the pace on. But a shuddering hit brings play to a halt right out on the touchline beyond the 10.
It's not beyond the back foot. It's not beyond the back foot.
Yeah, Matt, you called it, didn't you? It was on. And the thing with Quins is, we see it when it's on, they take it, and they've taken that opportunity to spread the ball wide.
Okay, no.
Got great meterage, and then they've got the penalty. So now, hopefully, we'll see Quins hold on to the ball for a few more phases, use this great territory, and we'll see if they can produce some points.
Balance them there, we'll get there.
I'm tired watching, to be honest.
So I think this would be where we said earlier about the line out on the maul. Hopefully, maybe this would be an opportunity to use that maul and get it going for next week.
Hold.
Jabulu finds his man, and Quins build the maul and crank it through a couple of gears.
9 once. He's bound on both sides.
Stolen by the Barbarians.
That's the second missed opportunity at more time. That was really frustrating.
And not immediately obvious how someone got in there to steal it as well. It looks secure.
It's always the small bloke.
They're the ones to watch out
Set,
for.
please, Quins.
Oh, indeed.
Wallace lifted at the front and clean ball off the top, and Northmore takes his eyes off the prize at the key time. Barbars with knock-on advantage. And Will Joseph won't have a third try in Quins' colours.
Yeah, unlucky again. It's just the little mistakes. Quins, they're either in the line out from the maul where the ball wasn't secure, knocked on, or the line out we didn't get previously. So it's just little mistakes, and I don't know if it's.
Same gap for set, lads.
The Barbars playing the Barbars. Are they that scary, or they just got to get into their flow a bit?
Well, Luke Northmore is a player that everyone will be more used to seeing wearing the 13 jersey, but he's won 12 back-to-back the last 2 games. He's getting another run there.
Re-engage, number 2.
Just acclimatising to that pop ball on the smash. The Barbars certainly pushing the pace. And Nick David finding the touch.
So they got the opportunity, Quins did. Unfortunately, they didn't get
the lines
of it. And now again, Barbars get the ball back, get to clear their lines. We've got a line out here inside the 10, so let's see what they can produce. And again, I suspect they're going to go wide, but who knows?
They shape to go wide, but Iki Tal just bent his shoulder and took a carry. Then another big runner coming through. Great timing coming round the corner for Dylan Peach, the former Aussie Sevens man. His motor's on a few more metres. The ruck ball is so fast for this Barbar side at the moment. Bit of room in behind the defence and judged to perfection.
I think that's the key thing, is the ruck speed is far too quick for the Barbarians at the moment. That'll be a key focus for Quins in the next few minutes, just slowing that down.
How do you go about slowing that down without drawing the whistle of the referee?
His name is Will Evans. Throw that man in.
Yeah, we had Danny Wilson head down to some of the women's training recently and work around that breakdown and some of the bits that he's taught us from the men's side of things and how to do it. So it'll be interesting to see if I can notice it up here and see the tips he's been giving us and how the boys do it and how they implement it and how they slow the breakdown down, or how in fact they speed their own breakdown up. So like we saw from the bar bars, it's about winning that race, not having a contest, getting there first. So it'll be interesting to see it all play out.
Without giving away too many trade secrets, what is it about? Is it about technique? Is it about arrival time? Is it about resourcing with the right number of persons?
He said it definitely feels better now.
A few of the bits he came in with us was one around our standards and things like our ball press. Like, even if it's an awful clear out, sometimes the ball press, if that's good enough, it saves your ruck. And then other ones was just all about winning the race. And the attitude, the behaviours around it, but very much winning that race there so there is no contest. And as well as the standards we have, so every ball press, every bit we're able to work hard and get there. Any other inside tips, man?
I was terrible around the breakdown, so nothing from me. You're far more knowledgeable. I think there's a big pressure line-out coming up from Nathan Jabuli here.
Okay, Bob, time on, please. Thank you, lads.
It's a confidence builder, and there'll be big pressure coming from the Barbarians. Caden Neville's a very good operator.
Nice, straight and cleanly pouched by Dombrandt.
Yes, please.
And Jabuli, at just 20 years old, is looking cool, calm and collected. Box doesn't find touch, instead it finds Dylan Peach, who really catches and drives on with some gusto. Now the penalty, they are stacking up a little bit for Quins, and Barbars are a team in the rush. Ned Hannigan, another Wallaby, taking play to the doorstep of the 22. Right, Tikitao, slick hands out to the edge.
This is the key breakdown if they can turn this over. There we go, Alex Dombrandt, true to form.
Give it up now. Yeah, good choice.
And carry through the middle.
Tackle a move. Don't pin him there. Don't pin him. Good
Quins
work.
looking to break the siege.
Will Porter talking to Jared Evans. The box kicks on the cards here.
Very congested around that ruck. Porter sort of eschewing his teammates away before finding some charging fingertips. And off go the Barbars again. Talakai out the back. Right. Surveying his options. Peach.
There's some really strong carries from the Barbarians in this phase.
Lovely slick hands. Debrasini. Barbarians. It's probing. Nice soft hands. Invites. Peach, beautiful pickup. Goes again. Levy's coming across with a crucial tackle. Hannigan. The Barbarians at the Quins' gates and through for the first try. The captain, Ryan Lonergan, plunges through a hole and gets the first try of the match.
There we just saw patience from the Barbars. When you're holding the ball for that many phases and your carries are still being dominant, and you're able to continue getting quick ball, then you're going to eventually get over that try line, as we've seen there. They kept it quite close at the end there. It's quite good work from Peach. He puts the ball down, he gets back onto his feet and is able to play the ball and carry on going. But yeah, when a team holds the ball for that many phases and is that dominant still, they're always going to go over that try line.
There's the little tips from the ball carrier, the offloads, and then They clearly have a game plan of going out the back, we'd call it. So looking for that man out the back, and then they can bend our defensive line, and it's working really well for them.
And on the replay, it's quite good from Harry Wilson. I think we saw when we talk about that breakdown, he cleared out Wallace, then put him on the floor so he couldn't be a defender, and that actually opened up the hole for the 9 to dummy and go. So by putting Wallace on the floor, you've taken a defender out of the game, and also you've stopped the fold, or you've disrupted the defensive line. That's where the gap was. That's where the 9 was able to pick and go and score.
And the captain maximises his own try-scoring effort. So, quarter of an hour played, and it's Harlequins 0, Barbarians 7.
I'm not too worried. This is always the case. Always 7-0 down. It's almost like the pressure's off to a certain extent for the guys now, so they can go out there and express themselves. Barbarians have a funny knack of always taking the lead early.
You say that, but Quins did score first, and within a minute when these guys played in November.
Shows you how much rugby I watch these days.
There's a lot of rugby left to play.
No animal.
Well, a high hanging box drops out of these beautiful blue skies that we're enjoying this afternoon. Finn Baxter collides through the challenge.
No, 7.
Porter under pressure again from Uru there. He gets it clear of his charging arms.
Barbarians could be on here if they go wide. There are a couple of men down.
Well, Wright is slotting in as a second playmaker very nicely indeed, and Filippo Daungunu is growing into the game with every sidestep as well. Uru offloading to Talakai. Oh, beautiful out the back door. The Barbarians beginning to play.
Kill the breakdown. Kill it.
Slowed up just a fraction. And just enough to put Iki Tau off his game. But just a bit of a glimpse into the Barbarians' box of tricks.
Sorry, but Filippo Daungunu has really decided to turn up today. Already, he's bumping people off, offloading the ball. Twinkle toes at one point, but brilliant from him. And that prop, I love a prop that offloads.
They are not small men. There's a reason I'm retired.
Hey, odds on them, so happy.
Sam Talakai showing he's not just a big man, but he's one with a tender touch. Speaking of which, Alex Dombrandt onto the ball. Will Porter spotting some room, beautifully out the back door. Tyrone Green with the chip. Can he collect? Oh, for the bounce of a ball. Still alive for Quins. Porter looking to manipulate the defence, looking to free his Quins out wide. It's a brilliant read from Daungunu.
Right now.
And Porter getting increasingly bossy in the game as Joe Launchbury offloads out of the tackle to his engine room partner. The crowd roused. Green alive. And the footballing skills just letting Quins down.
Luke Wallace there, but fantastic turnover.
He's down as well on the mark, not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's great work from Luke Wallace. We've seen it quite a lot, especially in the wider channels, but the likes of Luke Wallace and Will Evans are really able to get over the ball. Lovely kick and chase. He's been out injured, hasn't he, Tyrone Green, for quite a while, so it's lovely to see him back on the pitch. And this is what he's really good at. He's good in open space, using his boot, but ultimately using his pace to get rewards, and that's what we see here from him.
Right, thank you. It is 5.
Tyrone Green back and stringing some games together. That'll be exciting for Quins and Premiership fans alike. Launchbury, so many Premiership caps across his esteemed career. He's added wisdom and ballast to that engine room.
Barbarians have done a good job at sacking that line out there. Hopefully it comes out.
Quins battling to get it to the floor, but no dice, held up, and it's good more defence from the Barbarians. Should we hear from Dave Rogers? I think he's got a bit of action pitch side.
Mate, perhaps not the start we were expecting here, but what have you been pleased with?
No, like you said, not the start. I think people are working hard. You can't underestimate how hard it is. It's hot. They've kept the ball for a long, long time. We haven't necessarily kicked it off that much. So we're working really, really hard. Will Evans with some really good turnovers. Nick David sweeping up a bit in the backfield, and Ports finding himself on the wing looking awesome as well.
Yeah, there were signs of life there. I'm just going to keep my eye on what's going on here, because as soon as the rugby starts again, we'll throw back up to the Crown Prince of Q, Joe Burns, who's on comms today. Long old pre-season. It was great to see you back at it against Saracens last week, and you're looking pretty fast, mate. Has that been a work on?
Not necessarily. Just a nice little bonus, isn't it? I've always had it. Yes, no, it's been good. It's been a long one, but it's been great. It's been a good fun with Danny Wilson coming in, tightening a few things up, and to get a run out last week was great. So hopefully a little bit more time today, and test ourselves against a really, really good team.
Some talented new players out there as well. Jared Evans, Will Porter, Joe Free. We've got a Joseph in the midfield as well. How have those boys settled?
Great, really, really good. Genuinely made our team better, which is awesome. That's what you want from your signings and your first years coming in, and everyone's pulling in the right directions. And it's great to have guys come in with such experience and talent, but also be good leaders, work hard and so on, to push us to be better.
By the way, you've stopped peddling, and I don't want Danny Wilson giving me a telling off. Right, play's about to get back underway. Just give us a few points. What are you all really looking to get out of today?
To be honest, prepping for the season, prepping for the Premiership. I know it's Barbarians, people want to see us chuck it about, but we're trying to control. Here we go, Dave! Oh, that's your fault, Matt.
It's not my fault, and I'm so... hopefully the shot didn't wobble, because telly's the most important thing here. Anyway, you were saying?
Prepare for the season, prepare for Gloucester, a little bit more set piece, control the chaos, we like to call it, because you know it's going to be crazy against the Barbarians. Great talent, lots of good players throwing the ball around, doing mad stuff, so try and control it as best we can.
What you might not know is that up there in the commentary box we've got Big Simo, who's making a guest appearance. You got a message for him?
No, except you shouldn't have said his name. He who cannot be named, and you broke the one rule, didn't you?
Sorry. Joe, back to you. Good luck today.
He who should not be named, Simo. Well, let's have a look at conclusive proof that Dave Rogers sucks under the high ball.
Just in case you didn't get the reference, it's a Lord Voldemort nickname.
Well, it hit our cameraman down there, so classic man on camera, happy to sacrifice the man holding the camera so that he stays in shot a little bit longer. The ego of Dave Rogers right there.
Crowds. Bind.
One thing I will say is Nathan Jabulu is doing a fantastic job at line-out time.
You lose that jump again.
Well, someone who's doing very nicely indeed is Filippo Dangunu. As you said, Bryony, he has really shown up today at the Stoop, and he is almost threatening to be a fabulous 50-22, but it is the complete opposite. In fact, it's going to be a scrum all the way back.
That's a tight forwards nightmare.
That's one that you're just watching, willing to cross the touchline, not the dead ball line.
Fingers, toes, everything firmly crossed. Back they trudge.
It was nearly a great kick, like we said. It's always that way with a rugby ball. You just don't know which way it's going to bounce, and sometimes it just takes the wrong bounce, but you kind of hope that it would hold up on the pitch, but unfortunately when it goes dead it does come back for a scrum where the ball was kicked, so that's why they've gone trudging back, as we say.
Well, a tight fives nightmare for the Barbars.
So kick dead.
But a 10 on debut's dream. Huge blind side to work with. Scrum pretty much centre field. Quins have stacked 3 on the left. And Jared Evans has Will Joseph stationed to his right and Tyrone Green hugging the touchline.
Bryony, which way are they going? I'm saying left.
Right.
Well, they're going straight through the spine of that Barbar scrum at the moment. They then flash back left and Luke Northmore gets a good carry under his belt. Washes away the memories of the knock-on previously. Finn Baxter.
Penalty advantage here, so boys having a crack.
Well, Don Brandt running a Don Brandt line. That inside ball off Jared Evans. He's obviously seen him play in years gone by.
Still playing it.
He's a well-marked man. This time he gets clattered by two. Peach and Debrasini. Barbar's defence standing up well, and Baxter is too. So industrious. I'll tell you what, plenty of phases, not many metres for Harlequins at the moment.
Barbarians defenders, I think, are doing a really good job of just having one man in the tackle and being really disruptive.
So we go back.
It's causing us a lot of problems.
So 7's off the scrum and the tight ends left the contest.
Back to that penalty advantage.
Points or corner?
Corner.
Corner, 100%.
I was wrong with the right, but I'll take the corner. Surely the corner. You've got to practice these things for next week. You've got to practice when you kick in the corner. Next week you won't get many opportunities, so you've got to take all your chances.
Absolutely.
Jared Evans has run that as tightly as he possibly could into that corner. The assistant squinting before making his decision.
Don't come
But
out
the good news is for the Stoop is it's bang on the money. 5 metres out. Jabulu finding launch rate, and another more builds. Jabulu in the armchair, brought to ground again, but this time securely for Porter to give to Northmore.
Tackle!
Great physical confrontation at the moment being brought by the Barbarians, and they've turned it over as well. Ooh.
I think slightly hard done by there.
The first person that comes
We
through is always what
lost a lot of men on the ground at that maul, and we're a little bit under-resourced.
We can take another look here, Brian. This is the maul being brought down, and then the carry coming from Northmore. What do you make of this?
Yeah, you've got to play off your mauls. Obviously maul's gone down. The ball's available this time, so they can play with it. And then Northmore's carried, but off we go again.
Well, breaking news over here, because Quins are a metre out and Joe Launchbury's having a nuzzle. Repelled by the black and white hoops for now. Baxter still shy. Don Brandt next to go. Has he found a hole? Porter directing heavy traffic in front of him.
There's actually a bit of strategy with this. You don't want to be going on your own. You want 2 or 3 guys with you to get a little bit more momentum. So let's see if they can get organised and get over.
Craig Maxwell on his haunches, looking for any part of the ball touching the whitewash. Quins inching closer. Held up.
Yeah, that was super close, but as soon as you get over that line and you're a defender, you're just looking to hold that ball up, get yourself, any part of your body under the ball, and like we know with the law change.
What's going on here?
Oh, here we go.
Barbars are on the go. Dylan Peach is running hard and well tackled by Jared Evans, who put his left shoulder to the wheel there.
Again, the counter-ruck in the wide channels really slowing that ball down.
Well, it's a disorientating level of variety to the way the Barbars are attacking at Quins at the moment. Now to the boot, and Nick David inviting Oscar Beard to go chasing. Peach is on it again. And Dangunu, who's a man you don't want to see in possession, giving it to Takahashi, the scorer. Takahashi on the toe, backing his pace, looking to collect, but that is artfully done by Will Joseph. Oh, you hate to see the flag go up when something that side is dealt with so well.
Yeah, so we see here again, he's put the ball in behind, and again he's trying to use his pace. Unfortunately for him, Will Joseph's just as quick, collects it, and his right boot's just on the whitewash, so it's a line out to the Barbars.
Someone will be looking for a tactical knee at this point. Take a break. You can see the lager being sweated out the Barbarians players as we speak.
As you are, 6.
Well, it turns out their engines run pretty nicely on the amber stuff. Oh! And a little bit of a skyhook pass that will look right at home in the NBA. Drops into Sam Talakai's hands. He crashes over. The Barbars have a second. And it is all black and white on the scoreboard at the moment.
Whenever they get a line out there, do Quins think that it's going to be a trick play? Because surely the Barbars has got constant trick plays and looking to do this to teams. Or do they just have to defend it like they would normally?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. There's so many different options they could go with. So you're worrying about the maul to start with in terms of stopping momentum, and then they can go around the front, they can go to the back, a loop play. It's a nightmare, absolute nightmare as a line-out leader trying to defend a situation like that.
Yeah, I say, because the Barbars have countless trick plays, and there we see one where Sam Talakai has gone over after some basketball pass from his teammate. But it all came from, again, just the Barbars' way of playing, and they've got the goal line dropout from the held up, and they've taken it quick. We don't see that, so it's something that Quins weren't expecting. They got to regather that goal line dropout, and away they went.
They've out-Quinsed Quins.
Like, it's a trick play, as you said. It's higher risk, but clearly it's higher reward. Would you like to see more off the training ground moves like that filtering into the games in the league? Not specifically from a Quins perspective, but from just a rugby perspective, because they seem to work when they do hit their traps.
Yeah, they do, and we do have ones, but everyone has a peel, everyone probably has a front peel or back peel from them. But unfortunately, because they are high risk, and you might only get 1 or 2 opportunities in that game to score points, if you don't take that opportunity, then often you'll find yourself on the losing team because you tried something a bit more outrageous. So often it's, yes, they have some trick plays, but also you've got to take the opportunity. So often we rely on the likes of our mauls.
Seru Uru.
Finn Baxter, unbelievable tackle there. That man's got some work rate.
Gets fork lifted, or fin lifted, and he wins the scrum as well.
He's a special player, even coming through the senior academy ranks. He was always one to watch, and it's great to see him on the big stage now.
He's quite a character as well, Finn Baxter.
Very, very intelligent. And his neck is getting wider and wider every time I see him. I think he's going to have gout soon.
I was going to ask if you were suggesting that the girth of his neck was proportionally representative of his intellect.
I'm not quite sure, but yeah, don't let looks deceive you.
5.
It's Baxter's intervention that has led to this scrum again. Very nice attacking bit of real estate.
Sorry, cut you off there, Burnsy. I can hear Will Collier moaning from up here in the media stand.
A student of the scrum, I understand.
Yeah, old beyond his years.
Crouch.
Did you used to like it, or?
Point.
I loved it. It's hilarious being behind him. Yeah, and the combination of him and Marler is, an opposition's nightmare.
Quins tap this time, and Oscar Beard goes weaving through, but he was doing so by virtue of a forward pass from Northmore.
It's a tricky situation here because you can, as a forward, you can potentially get a little bit frustrated with the backs.
Set. Stay square. Thank you.
Barbars go to the open side. Tom Wright wrapping around and drawing in defenders. Oh, him and Peach, if they could have linked, could have been try number 3.
They're causing us a lot of problems in those wide channels. It's good to see. It's good rugby, but it's tough to defend.
Yeah, they're pretty quick, aren't they, the lads out wide, and that they go in there and then they've got the ability to offload, so it are proving a bit of a difficult at the moment.
Don Brandt takes a tackler with him across the gain line. Evans does well to evade the challenge. You've got to say, the Barbars just look supercharged in everything they do, be that defence or attack. Nick David gets greeted by Seruyuru, who flies up and picks his tackle nicely. Jabulu goes out the back. Joseph, haven't seen him on the ball enough in this half. Tries to glide through two defenders, but still Quins unable to break the halfway line. Can they do it down the short side? Luke Wallace, the latest to be denied.
Yes, please.
It looked for a moment that Porter was going to resort to the boot, but instead Nick David dummies a kick.
Manage over, knock on.
Joseph looking to use hands, and that is a feather in the defensive caps of the Barbars. Just no way through.
What's happening is, off the line out of the scrum, that first phase, because often we go out the back, as I referenced earlier, the Barbarians are aware of that, and they're kind of sliding off our front line carrier, and then they're able to slow down that ball as it gets wider, and they're doing a really good job of it.
Yeah, and they're being really successful in that breakdown and enabling it to be slowed down. I think we see quite a few times where it's a slow ruck, and then we're not able, as Quins, to get quick ball and look and get in behind. At the moment, we're struggling there because the ruck's so slow, and then we're not getting dominant carries.
Well, the first change of the afternoon is Shunta Nakamura of the Suntory Sun Goliaths coming on for Lachlan Lonergan, and you'll have noticed on the team read-throughs that Quins have 25 in their matchday squad and the Barbars 23. The Barbars are going to be using rolling subs, whereas Quins will be sticking to the traditional once you're off, you're off.
Very cheeky, that. A few tactical breaks, a couple of Lucasades. Smart.
Personally, it sounds glorious as a front row player. I noticed that at the moment the only subs they've made are 1 and 2, so that says it all.
It really does. Sign me up.
Jared Evans is shaking off pretty physical first 35 minutes or so in the quarters of Quins, and just judging by the hulking frame of Uwe Helu, who's bounded on wearing 20, it's not going to get any less physical out there.
Someone's had a few T-bone steaks this week.
Well, he plays for the Kubota Spears, so I'd suggest it's probably a bit of Wagyu out in Japan.
No doubt, no doubt. They fed him well.
Great deception with plenty of lines on offer. Dylan Peach looks like an angry man when he goes into contact. Tyrone Green feeling his wrath. And Harry Wilson.
Great double hit there. See how the ball's so much slower because you've got a dominant collision. It makes such a difference in those wide channels. Now the boys can slide off and hopefully cover this as they've done.
Well, just as he said, Simo, just from that big double hit, set the tone for the rest of the play for the Barbars, and they couldn't get that rapid fluidity they've been enjoying for much of this half.
It really is a simple game when you boil it down. Just slowing down the breakdown is, yeah. Oh, here we go, we're on.
So Quinn's off and running. Joseph. Nick David asking Oscar Beard to offer himself inside. Baxter, lovely
Great
soft
hands.
hands.
From there.
Quinn's on, Northmore spotting a gap, Uru closing it just by his fingertips. And he's definitely lying in the way, even though he's got his hands up. Again, Finn Baxter with the soft touch. Evans just looking for the right option, just about finding it through Joseph, who's working hard to get himself in the game more.
Their first 20, maybe 5, but not the tackle there.
Yeah, so like we were saying with the Barbars slowing the ball down, but the little tips and the soft hands from Finn Baxter means that they're unable to have the dominant collisions and slow that ball down as much, because it's not like they're lining up Finn like they would have been doing and making dominant tackles. Now with the soft hands, they're moving the defenders around, tackles aren't as good, and they're getting quicker ball, which enable them to get the penalty and now have some territory in a 22 and go for the line out.
A couple of minutes remaining of the half. Our clock not precisely in check with Craig Maxar-Keys, but pretty much there. Irrespective of the seconds, this is a key drive for Quins. Can they get something to take into the sheds? They don't cherish the ball though in that maul. And Will Porter has pounced upon the second. He mops up the mess. Again, slow ball for Quins. Porter. Sloppy presentation, but Will Joseph finds it before finding Wilson. Evans with the ball. David injecting himself into the line. Best passage for Quins of the half. Jabulu. Well, he's not the one tackled. That was off the ball, and Wilson could be in trouble. Quins will roll the attacking dice with the penalty advantage. 7 metres shy.
Just going back to the maul, giving a bit of insight into the dark arts, there is for the hooker, they have an incredibly hard role of taking that ball down and making the maul long and almost hiding it. What's happening is that we haven't quite got that unison that we need, and that's resulting in the Barbarians able to snaffle a few. So that's stuff on the training ground and that we need to work on, and it's games like this that you can build that fresher, kind of cohesiveness.
And what will it be the issue? Do you know? Is it the transferring the ball? Are they just not knowing who it's going to, or just skill error?
Yeah, absolutely. That. I guess with a combination of both. It's really hard in the training ground to practice match pressure situations, and for a young hooker like Nathan Jabulu coming in, it's getting used to that sensation. So, be good learning.
Jabulu finds Wallace this time. Quins go off the top. Lovely stop and switch of direction from Northmore. Oh, Quins jagged back to the left. But who else? Alex Dombran.
A clear training ground move for the guys there. Very, very well executed.
Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier. You asked us a question about like the moves we might have, but it's more things like that where we might preempt the next few phases off the line out. They've clearly gone to the maul a few times, it hasn't worked, so now they pull a play where they pull the ball out, give it to Porter, creates a ruck, and they come straight back knowing that Dombran's going to be there. So that's a kind of more lower risk, because they're always going to be in control of the ball. They're not going for any of the basketball passes, but it manipulating the defence, and what they've done there is do that, and then Dombran has dominated that line and gone straight over.
Get these lads a few cold towels, some electrolytes, maybe a bit of sun cream, and we'll come out the second half and set it on.
Do you use a lot of sun cream in your career?
Loads. Have you seen my head, Bryony? It shines.
Well, the team shining in this first half has been the Barbarians. Evans is walking off a little bit gingerly, but he's added two to Dombrandt's 5-pointer late in the half. And as the sides go in, it is the touring side in hoops will be far the happier. They lead Harlequins at the break 14 points to 7. So half time at the Stoop, Harlequins 7, the Barbarians 14, and 3 tries to pour over. The first coming from the captain, Ryan Lonergan from the Barbars, after fantastic work from Dylan Peach, who's really caught the eye out there so far.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of their backs on not only quick but extremely physical in the breakdown, and we've seen that across the park all day, especially with their centres. But Peach especially has got his hands on the ball and looked really dominant. And that pick up, put down, carry on, got them on the front foot, and then allowed Ryan Lonergan to go over and snipe. I mentioned in commentary the work of Ryan Wilson. We see it here, the 8, he's taken him to the ground, Luke Wallace, which again gave the space for the 9 to go through and score. So we've seen it a couple of times there, but great work from Harry Wilson.
Well, here's the trick play that we spoke of, and it was perfectly executed with Sam Talakai, the grateful beneficiary.
Very slick. You can see here the guys, Will Porter's a little bit asleep. It's I mean, great offload, to be fair. Nathan's done his job there. It's yeah, good move.
Well, there's a certain acceptance that you know that you're going to offer up your rib cage to execute a pass like that, but if it's rewarded in a try, then it feels like a small fee to pay. But this is the Quins try, as you said, right off the training ground.
Yeah, it's predetermined that Alex Dombrandt's going to get this ball back on the inside. Very hard to defend. Well done.
He is just a master of coming out of the blind spot, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. He's always there when you need him.
It's just really good timing, isn't it? He's got to time that run. We know he's going to be steaming onto the ball, but it's ensuring that breakdown's quick, so Will Porter can play the ball quick, and then Dombrandт just timing his run, and 9 times out of 10 that's a try.
Half time here at the Stoop from West London. It's Harlequins 7, the Barbarians 14. Time to hear a little bit from our sponsors who make these games and this kind of rugby possible.
There's no place like home. We all love the Stoop.
But when we're on the road, Quins supporters are the best in the world.
They come in their numbers.
They bring the colour. We brought the party. And they're the loudest. Come on, you Quins!
That day in the stands at Bristol was the best experience I've ever had.
What an amazing experience to be the first Harlequins supporters at the DHL Stadium.
We wouldn't miss an away game. Best days ever.
We have the best away support in the league, and we're ready to go again.
A beginner's guide to rugby. Made in Denmark. The Rugby Diamond. The tee off. The huddle. The slam dunk. The touchdown. Danes have never been very good at rugby, but we're very good at getting people invested in financial markets. Set up an account today on home.saxo. Saxo. Be invested.
Great opportunity there to thank our partners. Also a great opportunity on a day like today to catch up with old friends. Matt Simmons, how are you, mate?
Very well, Dave. How are you?
Yeah, really, really well. And nice to see you here. We're used to seeing you here covered in mud and blood with a scrum cap on, but life's changed a little bit. You look like you're in great nick. How's life treating you?
Oh, I don't know about that, Dave. Thank you. You're very complimentary. Yeah, life's good. Yeah, so obviously retired last season, then flung myself into new challenges, both academic and work-wise, so slightly different.
Well, we'll talk about those shortly, but we've roped you into co-commentary today. How's it been? How's it feel to be back here?
It's great to be back here. I'm out the loop, to be honest. Haven't watched too much rugby, so getting back to grips with it. It's been great, though.
Well, you're not entirely out the loop, because I know that you're studying in the higher echelons, and you played in the varsity match with a couple of Harlequins. How was it putting the boots on and duffing up some students?
Oh, different, shall we say. Different. Yeah, there's a few old man comments in the varsity match. Rolled me up the wrong way, as Quins fan had probably come to know. But yeah, it was great. Just a different challenge, a really nice way to kind of finish my rugby journey.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting for 1 second that you had a reputation of having a short fuse, but if those lads did wind you up, they might live to regret it. Let's talk about life then, because you went out on top as a Premiership champion, incredibly well thought of here then and now. But what have you been up to? You've gone back to uni, but what's that a means to an end to?
That is the ultimate question, Dave. I don't know. No, I'm working in commercial real estate and then doing an executive MBA course up at Cambridge alongside, so keep me busy.
I also like the fact that you've gone to Cambridge as well, because I think it dispels a few rumours about rugby players. But that is a whole new pressure. A huge credit to you. Why Cambridge? Because you could have easily done Open University or something local, but you've aimed high.
Yeah, sure. I did my undergrad before I became a professional rugby player, and then I was speaking to James Horwell, who did the course the year before me, and a few other rugby guys who've gone down that path, and they were really advocated for me doing it. The opportunities that opened up for them, and I jumped at the chance, and somehow I got in. Yeah, so here we are.
And here we are. Well, let's talk about where we are then, because we're back at the Stoop. We're in the sunshine. It's something that rugby players and fans and coaches and everyone all around the world loves. But that first 40 minutes, perhaps not what we were expecting.
Yeah, maybe. It's such a tricky one playing the Barbarians. You have a game plan, and it always goes out the window. It's really frustrating for the coaches. It'll be frustrating for the players, but I have high hopes for the second half.
Let's talk about the nuts and bolts then, the stuff you love, the mauls, the line-outs, the scrums. Real work on for Quins last year was the line-out. Looks pretty crisp out there in the first 40 minutes today then.
Nathan Derulo's doing a great job for a young hooker coming in. He's hit every throw he needs to. There's a couple of issues around the maul, but it's more combinations and also being in pressure situations like we are today. It's slightly different to the training ground, but it's really good learning.
How is it for you seeing some of these young players coming through? So Finn Baxter, you were around when he made his debut. In fact, I remember his first scrum, it was just behind us, as a young tight head against Racing in the Champions Cup. A welcome to the layer cake, son. But those youngsters that you'll have seen when they were teenagers, now in the first team, must be great for you to see, but also great for them to sort of make the cut.
Yeah, it's so nice to see. I was always a big advocate of a big supporter of the younger players coming through and creating a welcoming environment, which Quins have done. And you can see these guys are really flourishing now, not as a result of me, but the other senior leaders who are playing today and have gone before.
What about events like this then? Because obviously fewer teams in the Premiership now. Hopefully it means that clubs like Harlequins generally trying to lead the way, generally trying to make things happen. it's important that clubs do, isn't it? And we have days like this, opportunities for lads to play, for Barbarians to go on tour, for the spectators that have turned out in the numbers. I mean, we've got these youngsters, you can't see them, they're just behind the camera, but they're staring at us wondering what on earth's going on. But days like this, opportunities like this are very important, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. I mean, it has to be a sustainable business model, and Laurie Dalrymple in charge, who knows exactly what he's doing, strong owners at the club, and it's a really good spot. So I'm really pleased to.
Who are you looking forward to catching up with later on today?
There's a couple of guys that called me earlier, found out I'm coming down. Will Collier, I'm looking forward to seeing him, and certain James Chisholm, who has already given me a bit of abuse on commentary, so I'm looking forward to getting one back on him when he comes on.
I was going to ask you if you had a message for Chiz. He referred to you as he who shall not be named. He didn't have a message for you. Have you got a message for him?
Just stop texting my wife, really. Honestly, we've got a WhatsApp group, the three of us, and I'm out the loop. He's relentless. Leave her alone.
Why just the three of you?
We're weird, aren't we? Yeah. It's no. He's. I think he's just a really good man. I was very close to him when I was playing, and it's my wife and him. I mean, it's a big thing actually. The bigger picture for the wives and girlfriends. I think Quins have nailed it in terms of looking after the families and making sure they're really integrated into the club, and it's hugely important.
And of course, giving you the opportunity to bring your full family, all shapes and sizes and generations, back today.
Yeah, my wife's missed it a lot. My in-laws are here. My son, he's got his jersey on. Very excited to come down. It's great.
We love to see it. We love to see you. You give me that. Thank you so much for joining us. Get back up to commentary because you've got a job to do. If we're giving him a ticket to the game, then we're going to make sure that we're working him hard as well. Great to have Simo back. Plenty of the Premiership winners around the ground. Don't forget, you can be around the ground as well. If you haven't made it today, you can come and watch the women against Loughborough Lightning. That is next Saturday. Tickets are still available. Of course, the Premiership season kicks off for the men away at Gloucester, but the first home game is against Exeter Chiefs. So make sure you get down here, and hopefully we will still have some of this beautiful autumn sunshine. The players are starting to come out in the tunnel behind me. Great second half coming up. Thomas really making a game of it by getting over the whitewash just before the half-time whistle. Hopefully Simo has managed to get up the stairs without getting too out of breath. But in the meantime, Bryony Cleel's there, and the Crown Prince of Q, Joe Burns.
Well, Bryony, Quinn's got a bit of a tall task on their hands this second half.
Yeah, like we said, I'm sure they don't care about the result. I'm sure it's about the performance. And so from that first half, they won't be overly happy. But they have a whole second half, a whole 40 minutes of rugby to kind of get a better performance going forward to next week. Because what they want is they want players in form, they want players who are confident, they want a set piece that's working. So it's 40 minutes to kind of get that, to get the players playing some good rugby and working well together, because like we saw with the couple of the mauls where the ball's just not being secured, it's that unison, it's that partnerships that you want to be working. You want the 9 and 10 to be in full flow going into the Premiership.
Well, that is very much the big aim of today. It is knocking the edges off before the Premiership starts proper against Gloucester next week. Exeter then follows, so a bit of a West Country, Southwest flavour to the beginning of the campaign. Well, for you, Bryony, first home Premiership match. Oh, you've got to wait all the way until the 2nd of December, but I know you'll be licking your lips because it's against Saracens and your sister.
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone's come watch the Saracens Harlequins game and hasn't worked out we're sisters on opposing teams, it'll be difficult because there are some fireworks. And there are some fisticuffs always, I have to say. That's what you do as siblings. But when we play opposite each other, it's quite the game. And Harlequins Saracens, we know we've beaten them last 2 weeks, the men and women. So looking forward to playing them again.
Well, Harlequins and their young fans are excited because their team is back on the field. So we're back to the full complement of players, and we're back to the full complement of commentators and co-commentators after a fascinating insight into Simo's WhatsApp personal life in the halftime show.
Yeah, nothing like a bit of abuse from Marcus Smith telling everyone to stop mentioning that I've retired. So yeah, thanks Marcus. Good to know you're watching.
Nice to know some of the England boys across the channel tuning in.
Yes, please.
and no doubt hoping that their teammates can string together a little bit more of a cohesive display in this second half. Some of that seemed to be the difference in that first 40, that there's a bit more rhythm to the way the Barbarians were playing. The Barbars have picked up where they left off with Debrasini taking play beyond the halfway line before a kick over the top challenges. Will Porter, who's looked busy so far, mentioned in the build-up that he's someone who's caught the eye of teammates and coaches alike. He gets left for dead there by Tom Wright, who then goes and darts through another gap. But he gets himself isolated, and Quins tap and go, and Don Brown's driving the tempo. Gorgeous bolt over the top. Oscar Beard! That's the start that Quins wanted.
Yeah, I think they might have got talking to at half time there, but Don Brown, as soon as that penalty was given, took that ball and was ready for business. And you know, he's a pretty special player, as Don Brown, when we see he's got a complete set of tricks in his box, and that two-person miss pass into Oscar Beard to dive over in the corner was brilliant.
It actually all started a little bit earlier with Will Porter. The kind of things you don't notice. He knew they were going to kick, he dropped back early, made a very smart kick on the offensive and resulted in a try. Good work.
There aren't many eights with a pass like that in their locker out there.
No, and that's what makes him, like we say, a special player, and he has been for Quins for so many years. It's just that ability to do things like that. He's taken the quick tap penalty. Not many players would kind of have the bottle to do it. Like we said, often your 10 will come in, or your captain will come in saying we're going to the corner, or doing this, we're doing that, but he's taken the ball because he's got the confidence that he's going to deliver, and he did.
Well, Jared Evans, who shown a bit of signs of wear and tear at the end of the first half, well, he's still showing a few signs of wear and tear, in fact, but it's not hindering his ability to nail a quality conversion and draw the scores level, as we look at Alex Dombrand with the shackles off, creating in the way that only he knows how.
Tackle now. Thank you, good work.
We're back to all square.
Yes,
37 minutes to determine the victor. Wright has looked imperious at the back, caught high. And Seru Uru, who has looked full of energy all game, gets us off, and Uwe Helu, Debrasini conducted the backs and the forwards very well, the 10. But the Barbarians are in and behind Quins, and the back door pass doesn't go to hand, but they had penalty advantage.
Yeah, they again have come out, they've conceded 7 points, but they're just looking to get their hands on the ball, and like we saw first half, they're offloading, they're out the back, it's still alive for them, and they're still going to keep using that.
The question is, do they have a trick play at this line out? I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I'd have to say yes. So don't they spend most of the week practicing these trick moves or coming up with them and creating them, but they definitely want to use them all before the tour's over.
Hold out, lads.
Final game of a 7-week journey altogether, and that is pretty direct from Nangunu. And here comes the power and the pace, but the ball fizzed too quick for Lockie Swinton to keep a hold of. Tyrone Green links up down the right, but the final kick going out on the full.
Yeah, we just see the timing wrong on exactly the same kind of line that they were trying to run as Don Brandt did end of the first half. That quick on the gain line when you want the ball flat, and they've just got the timing wrong, and it's popped out, because if he caught it, it's probably over, but it's popped out, and Alex Don Brandt, knowing he has that freedom to play, that bravery to play, has tried to use the overlap, and unfortunately kicks come off the side of Will Porter's boot, and will be a line-up for the Barbarians.
I think that's the key thing with Alex Donbrandt. As a leader, he's taken it on his shoulders to go out there in the second half and exert his influence on the game, and I'm sure it'll pay dividends.
Yeah, there it is, that into outline, just like Donbrandt was trying to run, but the ball just popped out. And then, like you said, as a leader, you kind of take the game by the scruff of the neck, and it's very much like he's got the freedom and the bravery to do so, and if it doesn't work out, it falls on his shoulders, it falls down to him. But 9 times out of 10 it goes well for him, or he's got the skill set for it to change a game in a positive way, and so far this second half he's definitely got it by the scruff of the neck in this game.
Here come the rolling subs to the Barbarians. Lucky them.
Do you know how many, lads? How many?
Harry Johnson-Holmes wearing 18 and Josh Cannon wearing 19.
5 man.
Who, if you read his bio, he's educated at Brighton and played for Quins, but that's Brighton Grammar and Harlequins Melbourne, I discovered earlier today before I made that mistake on commentary.
Let go.
And he's a pretty dynamic second row option, and one who's going to bring a lot of energy out there.
Dominant tackle there from Nathan Jabulu, really changes the game. Good work.
Often it's what's needed in when you're in defence. It's that dominant tackle, that two-person tackle that can really change them phases and enable you to get a positive outcome. So like you see there, he's got the dominant hit, and then they've got the penalty.
The Quins having weathered the response immediately after their try, launched an attack from the halfway line. Soft hands from Donbrandt to his old Cardiff netmate Luke Northmore, who pumps the legs and takes Quins to the 10-metre line. Oh, jolting hit. Will Joseph. And Will Evans standing at 10. Will Edwards usually stands, not to be confused the two.
Still playing.
The ricochet falls favourably to Quins. A lot of pressure being put on Jared Evans, having to carry himself much of the time, and see the left-handed pass on Joe Launchbury before we see the acceleration of Will Joseph motoring through the smallest of gaps.
We're going nowhere. That's the second time you've
I didn't know
tackled someone off the
Joe
ball.
Launchbury had a left-handed pass, so good to see.
It was a lovely left-handed pass as well.
Tackle
It really
the ball
was.
carrier, not
Perfect
the support
spiral.
player. They're tackling the support
Returning
player,
to
not the
Quins,
ball
Joe
carrier.
Launchbury. A lot of people sort of forget that he had his formative years here. Is he forever associated with Wasps?
He loves it. He's back home.
I did enjoy the social media this week where you saw a post of him when he was here, and obviously now, and he hasn't half weathered in the last few years of his rugby career, I have to say.
He still walks like he needs a hip hop.
It's their gap to 7.
Quins 15 metres out, and the captain claiming it in the
30
skies. Well, not the captain, one of the leaders. Stefan
Lads,
Levy's the
White's got
captain
penalty
today,
advantage.
but
19
no doubt
takes the
Don
back
Brandt
left
will
of
wear
it.
that armband at some stage in the season. Again, that pressure being put on the 10-12 channel forces Quins back into the traffic. David has acquired a headband. Northmore picks up and put down unceremoniously, and he's felt every last angle of Tom Wright's shoulder on the way down as well.
Tom Wright's been holding that anger in ever since he got dropped for the World Cup, I imagine. But to me, when I've watched him play today, he's been awesome on and off the ball. So I definitely look like an Australian player to me.
Against 12. 12.
Luke Northmore might need a new ribcage after that one.
His elbow lifts his leg, just flips him around, he lands on his back. 12.
Well, intervention from the assistant
He's lifting him around the horizontal. He cannot go around the horizontal.
is
He lifts him and then he lands on his back.
saying that
Without the lift, it's just a dominant tackle.
Well, I thought that was Tom Wright who made that challenge, unless they were talking about another tackle elsewhere in the passage.
John, where's
Must
the line
be.
out penalty over there? Where he stood. The penalty here. Go into this. This one. Lads! This one. I'll give you time to reset, don't worry.
Yeah, that one's gone past me. Obviously, it wasn't to do with that tackle. It was another moment in the game, and the AR's come in on that. He gave them the options of penalties, and they've chosen to take this one. But the yellow card, we'll have to work out afterwards, I guess. Or Dave Rogers, can he do a bit of detective down on the sideline for us?
Hang on. Stop. 10's being changed.
Well, Jared Evans, his first appearance in Quinn's colours, comes to a close after 49 minutes, and he's been in the walls, hasn't he? But he stood up well in his first outing.
It's something you like to see, a 10 who's gone through it a little bit, though. He's been on one ankle for just the first 15 minutes, so good on him.
This time, Quinn's safely transitioned the ball to the back, but Jabulu is being sucked right in. Porter scoops it out, and Beard lends a hand on his right shoulder. Levis greeted by Wilson and Uru. Launchbury doesn't get it because Evans comes round the corner.
That's your own player, 12 line on top of it. Well left, thank you.
Hard graft from the Quins forwards at the moment, but making slow, steady progress. Baxter stripped in the tackle, and it is on. It is on for the Barbarians. Debrasini finds Ikitau on his shoulder, who careers up to the halfway line. Exhausted Quins forwards, labouring back into the defence, and Dylan Peach won't have a shred of Quins defensive DNA on him as he glides under the poles. Coast to coast from the Barbars, and back into the lead.
Yeah, they've obviously, we're seeing the replay here. I think this is previous to when he's got stripped, but Barbars have stripped the ball, have taken it wide, and obviously managed to go the length of the pitch, which is so Barbars. And I thought, here we go, so he's been stripped, AT's given it. We always say, once you get a turnover, try and move it away from the contact, because you know that they will have less defenders out there, because obviously they were just attacking, and then they just keep the ball alive, and it's just this quickness of this breakdown. He goes over, the 9's there straight away, and away he goes.
And the 2 penalties being taken off, which is the thing you would probably the first half period. So just that's the only trend.
Well, Ryan Lonergan scored the first try when he picked and he sniped through the hole left by the disorganisation on the fringes. This time he has the former Aussie Sevens and Waratah strike man on his shoulder, who's been so close to the Wallabies, but yet to make his mark. And he finishes emphatically. It was an easy run in, but it's just reward for a busy performance from him on the left wing, as we see that break all the way from the Barbars 5 metre line.
Quins 1, Quins 8.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad Peach has just scored there, because like we've been talking at half time, we were saying how good he's been on the ball. He's physical and he's quick, so to see him score there is well deserved. But credit to Ryan Lonergan there, who working so hard to get to the breakdown, spotted the gap and then put it away.
So Don Brandt departs the game, as does Finn Baxter. Jordan Ells in his 5th season at Quins, on wearing 17.
Yes, please.
Connor Slevin is on for Quins as well, and James Chisholm, the back row replacement. They need to bring big energy for this remaining 27.5 minutes.
tackle now. Thank you.
Slevin hoists it high onto Tom Wright, who has looked the coolest customer in the Quins' home all day under the high ball. Sets Peach off before then being involved in getting it into the hands of Iki Tao.
There it is.
Oh, Debrasini takes his hands off the ball and launch free.
Great hands from Joe launch free there. Luke Wallace with the chip. Haven't seen that.
And he inspires Harry Wilson to a slightly more agricultural introduction of the boot, but a touch finder nevertheless.
That's good to see, forwards kicking. Bring it back, I say.
I think we're reminded there that why forwards shouldn't kick at points though. There's quite a lot of highlight reel, Jack Morgan being one, that like the Don Brand, all of these players we see highlight reel kicking, and I think Harry Wilson just reminding us why sometimes they shouldn't.
Pretty sure Will Collier still wears steel toe cap boots.
And it comes off Quins. I don't see a knock on by them first. He comes from behind, so it's more than a knock on.
Well, plenty going on there, but not much good from either side in that, apart from Northmore, had it been allowed to stand.
We're going to need the 9s, so don't rush.
I'm actually really excited to see Connor Slevin playing. This is senior academy. He's more like an Aussie rules player in his skill set. Unbelievable kicking, unbelievable on the high ball. So should have a good 25 minutes to express himself.
I've seen some of the highlights from the recent Prem Cup games, and I just kept seeing him intercept. So he seems to be a bit of an intercept king. He scored twice in the Prem Cup from intercepts and went around the length of the pitch. So I'm definitely excited to see him play too.
Yeah, he's clocking in about 6'4", Connor. So yeah, long arms.
He's really nailed his player profile photo as well. If you get an opportunity,
has it? Yeah, I'll have a look after this.
On the website as well.
He's a character.
Talented man, the 20-year-old wearing 23. A lot of these youngsters have had great exposure in the Premiership Cup, which has been ongoing the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Set.
Another Quins team in action in Nottingham at the moment. And Wright, very, very comfortable at first receiver. And why wouldn't you be with Len Ikitau on your shoulder? Next in is Haylu. He's just chewing up the meters through that contact. Wilson.
Backwards to me, lads. We play on. Really?
James Chisholm throwing himself into the mixer as always. Good tackle there, slowing ball down.
No.
Kenta Kobayashi, who was responsible for the strip on Baxter that led to the length of the field try.
And then he kills him. Release first.
Whenever you come on for a game, you really kind of just want to throw your body about, don't you, and make your presence known and kind of get into the game. So I think that's what James Chisholm was trying to do, and he continued to do it. He's such a gnaws around that breakdown, and he does like to throw his body around, and unfortunately he's got penalised there, but that's the energy you come on with. That's what subs you want them to come on and change games.
Hold on.
Be known.
We're making a change and he's down.
Yeah, absolutely, he epitomises that.
Well, George Hammond is one of those coming from the bench wearing 19. He was down to wear 20, but clearly a late change. And are you in a different headspace for the whole game when you're a replacement compared to when you're starting?
Yeah, it's a nightmare. You're so nervous the whole game. You never know when you're going on. Yeah, I didn't like it.
Harry Wilson being utilised in every avenue on the field at the moment. That red head guard working hard. And Debrasini calling on the ball, just popping through the gap and trying to free up his hands. Quins do have that advantage, but more advantageously they have it with Nick David, who spins Ikitau and then gets wrapped up by Green.
Quins let go.
first.
Tyrone Green appealing to Craig Maxwell-Keys. Bit of frustration in the faces of the Quins players.
Turnover could be on here, Will Evans. Close.
Well, not Quins doing their best to cause as much disruption now. Done a good job of slowing up what was electric ball for the Barbars in the first half. Ned Hannigan bends his head in his Joey's and Randwick socks.
Outside the half, played back in. On top.
Debrasini puts a tester up for David, who's a match to it.
Yeah, they had to do something there. The Barbars were just going nowhere. They were trying to play and they tried to get rid of it, which they've done. And now Quins have tapped and go from the mark called.
Off goes Oscar Beard. One try already. Amazing run. Joseph on the shoulder. Northmore in support. Try time for Quins.
Fantastic work from Oscar Beard there. God, he's quick.
Yeah, lovely work. The Barbars looking a bit tired, even though they've got the rolling subs. They were looking a bit laboured then, and they've done it to the Barbars. They've taken the quick tap off the mark. Nick David's called the mark, taken it quickly, and then they spread it wide. And Oscar Beard's done brilliantly.
Quins have to keep the tempo up for the last 20, and they're 20. But you can see some tired legs, as you said, Bryony. So yeah, the quicker the game, the better.
More tactical.
Yeah, so there he goes. Oscar Beard beating about 3 defenders, hands off the last. But it's a support. It's Will Joseph and then off to Luke Northmore. Both unselfishly given all that support, and over they go for the try. But yeah, completely right. The Barbars looked a bit laboured. They looked tired. Even though they've got rolling subs, it's surprising. So maybe they'll have to unroll a few of the subs that they've made to get the energy back. Because yeah, Quins with some of the subs they've made have brought some energy.
It was Slevin to Northmore, to Beard to Joseph, and back to Northmore. And the only man involved in that passage over the age of 25, Luke Northmore, dotting down underneath the uprights for a simple conversion for Connor Slevin. 21 apiece with 20 minutes to go. I like how this game is poised.
I've been told it could change, yeah.
More changes.
Time's off.
For the Barbarians.
I've just checked though, I've been told it's both sides. I've no idea. Stand by.
The rolling nature makes it a little bit challenging to keep track of who exactly is on the field.
I've given up.
I can tell you what isn't on the field. That restart.
Momentum shifting. Nothing better. Nice little scrum. Middle of the pitch. Here we go.
Yeah, rugby's all about that momentum shifting, and it's taking the opportunities that you get, and when the momentum shifts, keep it in your direction. It's always swings back and forth, and you're never going to get a game where you have all the momentum or none of it. So it's really important when you have time like this to take all your opportunities.
Brian, put you on the spot again. Left or right?
Set.
Left.
I'll go left with you. Great control from James Chisholm at the back there. That's a really hard skill.
That is a real tester of a kick that's put Tom Wright back in that left-hand corner.
Lovejoy Chalatama, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, doing an absolute job on their loose head.
Yeah, is that what he's well known for, isn't he? He's scrumming. He's scrumming. Hit him in the scrum, let him loose. He's got that strength and that technique in abundance.
Scrummaging and chefing. That's what LJ's known for.
Is he a chef?
The backyard chef. You can follow him on Instagram.
Is he in touch or just a knock on? Just a knock on.
A talented barbecuer.
definitely.
Oh, high protein diet, clearly evident.
You are now definitely going. Your scrum. So he's in the field of play, just knocks it off when it comes back in. So it's your scrum.
Well, we get to see it again here actually. Let's see how this scrum goes. But like you said about the control as well from Alex Dombrand, at the back of the scrum was exceptional.
Same patience.
And that kind of got them the penalty, because as much as that ball would come out, then the ref's going to get it to play. But if you keep the ball in and you're being dominant and they're being illegal, you're going to get the penalty.
Crouch. 5. Set.
I reckon they'll go for a scrum penalty again here if they can.
That's good. Yes, please.
Maybe not.
Northmore carries hard. Evans explodes onto it. But it's a penalty to the Barbarians.
It's unfortunate there for Will Evans. It's just your natural instinct is to roll. Frustrating one. He'll be annoyed.
Yeah, it's an easy let-off when the Quins have had a bit more momentum. They had that dominant scrum, they've gone to play again and then got an easy let-out, an easy exit. When you're in them opportunities, you don't want to give away easy penalties to them. Get the pressure off the bars, so it's now a Barbarians line now.
Good contest there from Luke Wallace at the back. Great work from Connor Slevin slowing that down, and Will Joseph.
Wright looks so assured and just trying to chicken wing that out to Damien Hoyland, but no dice.
Free play here for Quins. Classic James Chisholm, the Rhino.
Carries his opposite number with him on the meters. Els, the South African.
Release now.
Brings a bit of meat into the challenge. Slevin spots a bit of room against the grain. Very nicely done, but gathered up and Debrasini.
Stand still.
Could be on here, Nick David.
Tries to skip round, Ned Hannigan. He does just enough to slow him up to facilitate the tackle for the next man. The Rhino.
Always makes yards.
Tackle!
A nightmare to tackle that man.
Hammond buffeted back. Herbs. Big men running into each other. Big collisions. The consequence. But that's loose from Slevin.
Foot race here.
And Quins are spun on their heels. Slevin isn't first to it. The Barbars on the 22. And that'll be a yellow card. A cynical arm.
So tempting. I'd have probably done the same.
I'm just a fan of Tyrone Green trying to take the ball. The ref going, no, don't take the ball. And he just picked it up, put it back down and took his hands off it. Probably avoided the yellow card for himself there.
He's a polite young man. Does what he's told.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, the Barbarians are really trying to slow it down at the moment. I don't know if that's them discussing their next trick move, but we should see. But either that or getting a breath.
Well, the numerical advantage has been flipped. Barbars to the full complement. There is the trick play. Hannigan linking up with his Circa. Oh, it was a dummy from 8 forwards that deceived all the Quins line-out pack. Brilliantly finished by Lonergan.
I need to see that again.
And just as you called it, Bryony.
Yep, we knew that was going to be a trick play. It seemed to be a bit of a discussion happening, so maybe they were just making sure everyone knew what was going on. But they faked the overthrow. The three of them dropped out of the 15, dummied the pod, and then instead they left one there who quick line-out throw to the front, and then he was able to get back to the 2 with the Quins defenders just being a bit generally confused.
That's the kind of thing that gets analysed in a Monday morning review session, and you're nervous going in on the drive.
It was all eyes on the tail, wasn't it?
To be fair, hell of an offload.
Yeah, with them going to the back with all of the other 6 attackers going to the back, that just caused all of the Quins players to think there was going to be a maul, move there quick, because we were always told, yeah, you know, get there, move quick. So that's what they were doing. All heads went as well, if you notice. Everyone's heads went. James Chisholm's head went, looking at that back, and then left the two attackers down the near side to offload and score.
And a peach of a conversion from James Bobby Tuttle, a key try at a pivotal moment in the game. Let's hear from Dave, who's got one of the Quins men alongside him.
Thomas, a little bit different to the last time you played the Barbarians. You got what, 50, 55 minutes? How were the legs? How were the lungs? And how was it out there?
Yeah, no, it was good. Obviously, different context of the game in terms of playing the Barbarians just before the start of the season compared to last year, where it was almost playing them in a little break of the season. So a lot of what we were trying to implement today was trying to build to that, towards that Premiership season start next week against Gloucester. So yeah, no, it's definitely a test against the Barbarians with the way they play, and they've got a really strong team, lots of internationals in their team. So no, it's a good test for us.
I'm not going to ask you about the specifics that you were trying to implement, because obviously, who's knocked that on there? It's not Nick David. Because, you know, Secrets and Gloucester coming up, and then Exeter, of course. But in terms of things you were trying to execute, are you happy with how they went?
Yes and no, probably. Definitely have to obviously review the game in terms of what we set out to achieve and whether or not we did it. But, you know, going towards the Premiership season, there's no easy games, you know, so we've got a very tough test against Gloucester away, so it's trying to find that balance of everyone getting some minutes in their legs, and then obviously trying to execute what we want to execute moving forward.
Just trying to keep an eye on things here, because anything can happen with these two teams. We've seen Barbarians and Quins go the length of the field. Let's have a chat about that. Luke Northmore's just come off. He got on the end of an incredible try that had all of you guys on your feet, off your seats here. Hopefully we're going to see a lot more of that, but how pleased firstly with the try, but also to see some of the young players or the new players involved in moves like that?
Yeah, definitely. You know, a real team try, and like you said, we've got some great young players coming through the academy system, and great young players that we brought into the club that signed for the club. So no, it's great to see boys getting a chance and getting some minutes under their belt, and yeah, they're doing really well.
Very quickly, I'm going to reach across you and grab a quick word with Jared Evans. You're a debutant, you're officially a Harlequin. Congratulations, how was it out there?
Yeah, it was pretty intense first 20 minutes, a bit hectic. Kind of expected with the style of the Barbarians, but nevertheless happy to get my first ever run out of the Stoop.
Well, it's absolutely great to have you here. There's lots of oohs and ahs, so if it does get into the 22, we're going to throw back to Burnsy and the team up there. In fact, we'll come back to Jared and Thomas, because I've got a feeling we're about to have some action. Burnsy, take it away.
No.
The Barbars are cutting some real shapes out here, and they found themselves all the way to the right-hand corner. And right on time, D-Rog, Ned Hannigan in the corner. Try number 5 for these Barbars, who were really beginning to enjoy their day at the Stoop.
Yeah, we knew there was going to be some action there when it got thrown back up to us, because the Barbars in a 22, they played it out the back. 10's given it to the 12, it's gone out at 22, it's gone to 19, and away it goes, and it's Dan Gooney, my new favourite player from today, and he's just that stutter step meant that Will Joseph can't then drift and go onto the 4. So that little holding the ball up, engaging the defender, and then giving it on to Ned Hannigan to score in the corner. So again, I might have to follow on Instagram later, but Dan Gooney definitely been a fan favourite of mine.
I think it's the Barbarians' mindset of, you know, offload, big passes from some of the forwards that potentially they wouldn't normally have the licence to do with their clubs, and it's really paying dividends.
Yeah, sometimes it must be so nice to get that freedom that ability just to do what you feel comes naturally in that moment, rather than go, this has to go, or this is what I need to do?
Bryony, I never had that skill set. Mauling, scrumming, that's about it.
I pretend I have the skill set. So.
I believe in you.
So, Dan Gunu holding those two players there for Ned Hannigan to get the try. No conversion to be added, but still something of a mini mountain to climb for Quins. There's just under 10 minutes remaining, and just looking at the way that kickoff was received by Josh Canham, the Barbars are full of life and the joys of playing running rugby on the green plains of West London.
Stop. Yeah, I have no idea what happened there. Run the time off. I think it's his shoulder by the looks of it, lads. But your scrum here, we'll wait and see what's wrong with him. It's definitely holding his shoulder.
So Craig Maxwell Keys
Scrum, yeah.
hit the pause button immediately.
He's listening to his shoulder when he went in.
With safety in mind, and you know, there's less than 10 minutes to play here, guys. Trailing by 12. What's the strategy for Quins here?
Quins really need the ball back off that restart. Connor Slevin had the plan was to go down the middle and make a contested work. It's slightly too long, but yeah, just get the ball back in their hands. Sounds cliche, but that's the key.
Yeah, like not only about 5 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago, we were talking about how the momentum had changed and Quins had it, and then it completely swung back to the Barbars. But it's about wrestling it back, and you wrestle it back by going for contestable kicks, or you wrestle it back around the breakdown, or turn the ball over. So it's moments like that where, yeah, Quins will want to get the ball back and want to play some rugby, because ultimately, looking forward to the Premiership next week, they want to make sure, like we talk about, the players that are coming off might be the players that are going to be in that 23 next week. So can they get some game time, can they get some form, and can they work partnerships?
Find out, no idea. What's on the yellow card, James?
Lennox Anyanu coming on, he's looked really hungry.
He comes on,
Expect something
3.5 minutes.
special from him in the next few minutes.
2.5 minutes.
Lennox Anyanwu looked absolutely awesome at the beginning of last season as well. Then he went out and he spent a lot of time at London Scottish in the Championship. As we just have a little look at the incident that's led to the break at the moment, he seems to be a player that grows with every match that he plays, irrespective of the team he's playing for. He spent time at Richmond, Scottish, Quins, as Cassis Cleese, who's just come onto the pitch. But Lennox Anyanwu, he's a player to be really excited about in the centres.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's just got a great attitude, great work rate, and he kind of epitomises that group of players, the young players that are coming through. Your Finn Baxters, your Oscar Beards, Connor Slevins. It's really nice. It's really good to see.
It's about giving them game time as well. Quite often the confidence they get from playing, from just being able to play. Often if you sit on the sideline, it gets sapped out of you, but to be playing rugby, you get such confidence from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And combinations, you know, being out there in pressure situations like this, learning those, you know, nuances of how each other play. It's really important.
Well, Dylan Peach is blowing the stars out of his eyes. We're in no rush. Dylan, want to make sure that he's right before he presumably bids us farewell. And it'd be a shame to see him go, because he has been very, very exciting from minute one.
Yeah, he has been. He'll be gutted because at the end of the 7 week period, you're in the 71st minute playing your last game, which you're winning. Pop your shoulder out and away you go. So he'll be gutted by the ending for that, but he has been brilliant all day.
Huge scrum here for Quins.
Crouch. I've got absolutely no issue with you. Yeah, a bit too close. So let's create a gap, please.
Unbiased, but classic tomfoolery there from the Barbars. Killing some time.
Providing when we crouch, we've got space. Looks good so far.
What balance you've offered there, Simo, with that remark.
Looking through my one eye.
Bind. Set.
8 minutes and a bit of change for Quins.
Oh, that's harsh.
To make a change on the outcome of this game.
It's the same penalty you won in the middle of the field. One goes round and across.
Yeah, he's just penalised the loose head. Hips have come out, and the angle he's going at has caused the scrum to go like that. So rest one, loose heads, tight heads, the full front row to stay square and be driving straight.
That on the 10, right? You've got the line there, yeah?
The Barbars in no hurry to form this line-up, but when they do, they take it cleanly off the top through Caden Neville, and through the middle, Seru Uru.
Well left.
Ned Hannigan offloading to Tom Lambert. Tom Lambert rampaging in the Quins backfield, still pumping his legs, still driving to the line. It's a barnstorming finish from the 22-year-old loosehead.
That was slick.
And that has put a bit of an exclamation mark at the end of this Barbars performance.
Big night could be on the cards for them.
Yeah, they could have gone the open side, but they've come back on the blind side, and it's a great offload and things you love to see. Loosehead propped in space with the big bump off from Cassius Cleves, and keeps pumping his legs, keeps moving. But it becomes so difficult to tackle, and just uses that momentum to take him over the try line. And a well-deserved try, just from the fact he had to finish it from about 20 meters, or even 25 meters away. It's not bad when you take two defenders over the try line either with you too. I'm sure that'll be in his highlight reel on his Instagram later.
Wow. Couple years spent with Glasgow Warriors for Tom Lambert, the Sydney sider, now firmly a member of the New South Wales Waratahs, but leaving with a hell of a memento to take back down under. And as you said, for the TikTok later this evening probably, extras duly added, 40 points attained, and this game pretty much gone for Quins. Wow.
Good work from Caden over there.
What
Hard
power.
skill.
And Simo, you said that Quins need the ball. They just can't get a sniff at it as the moment, as Debrasini brings right into the play, who is just conducting lethal attackers around him. Here comes Dangunu, worthy of a try, but stopped at the crucial moment. Cleves puts boot to ball,
and he has got some wheels.
Then pedal to the metal. Debrasini looks like he's running in treacle. Flips it to Ned Hannigan, who's worked so hard the second row.
Quins have to show some character here.
Uru to right. All the good things happening around right. No look ball to Wilson. One more inside. And Nick Curran stumbles his way across the line to round off a thrilling team try. Everything a player in black and white touches turns to tries right now. The Barbars finishing with one hell of a flourish.
I'm taking my Quins hat off. That's a hell of a try, and it's some good rugby to watch.
Yeah, absolutely, that's the word, isn't it? Some just good rugby. Tom Wright with a no-look pass. Harry Wilson down the wing, and then he's given it the 2-on-1. It's really simple, but it was a nearly ankle tap, and then the I'm going to fall over the next few metres, but please don't, because I'm about to score. He even tried to give it the goosey before he got ankle tapped, and he's luckily scored because no one would want to see someone fall a metre away. Oh, hello. Uh-oh, who have we got kicking?
Seru Uru, what doesn't he do? A trick shot against the upright. The conversion doesn't go over, but with 2.5 minutes on the clock, according to the stadium clock, the Barbars are in sight of a half century.
Short restart here from Connor Slevins, get the ball back.
It was 101 points and 15 tries last time these two met, but 73 of them were for Quins. It's a different story this afternoon. Tom Wright finds Tyrone Green. Can Quins end the day with something to sing about? Els, cute little boy, off the shoulder to Sam Riley. Runs into a big hit. Into the 22. Quins haven't enjoyed time here for a long old while. Cassius Cleves skips inside. Trying to stay down Gunu.
18.
Need to go wide here.
Lovejoy missed out, knocked down by Debrasini. I think, judging by the way that Debrasini and Slevin have just looked at each other, they both know that Jack Debrasini knew exactly what he was doing there.
Not his first rodeo.
Cheers, mate. So it's not in the tackle, it's a wide arm and natural position.
Assistant steps in, and dishes out the
Barbarians
justice.
sleeping.
And Yanwu to Evans. Evans into the heart of the Barbars 22.
Oh, that was harsh. I thought he was off his feet.
Don't tackle him now.
And Tom Wright, guess what? He doesn't want to hang around. Debrasini feints inside. Hannigan's been so energetic in this second half. Debrasini deploying all of his attacking weapons. Damien Hoyland, the Scottish international now. Hannigan is crunched by Herbs with the ball nowhere near him. Goodness me. You could feel that all the way up the A316. Debrasini gets an awkward bounce of the ball and Tyrone Green just mops it up.
It's a great tackle, as you said, but it's off the ball.
I love the fact we get to hear the ref mic up here, and hopefully at home they can hear the ref mics as well. But yeah, great tackle, Craig Maxwell-Keane says, just unfortunately off the ball.
Well, here it is. And this would be hit of the season
End of the line, please.
if he had the ball.
That's how many, please? 5.
That's what we do in touch occasionally when people who get touched don't go down. We eventually just have to tackle them like that. So he might have done that a few times in training too.
To the front, to Ikitau. To Uru. To Hannigan. And he's showing no bumps and bruises from that meeting with Herbs. And Quins use the advantage to break. Barbars take the fresh advantage. They want 50. Tom Wright spots his replacement hooker Nakamura. Oscar Beard does exceptionally well, and he's free if he can just put his foot down. Oscar Beard with so many meters to go. Debrasini chimes in with a tackle, and Damien Hoyland scoops up the crumbs, and the former Scottish international will coast across to take the Barbarians to a half century of points.
Wow, wow, wow. What a finish to that passage of play. Oscar Beard got them out of a lot of trouble there. I was a bit dubious of the kicking through the ruck from the 10 or even the high tackle, but they've got away with it, no TMO, and over he goes to score. So here we see it.
Sorry, cut you off again. Fair play, Barbarians.
We see Oscar Beard take the ball, beat a few defenders, like he's done a few times today, He's very much on his own. You can see him grimacing, gets hit, but through as the 10 come through, he does kick the ball forward. Technically, can't be doing that. We can't be kicking balls through the rucks, but if the ref doesn't see it, away we go. And yeah, like we say, fair play, Barbarians. Damien Hoyland with the score.
It looks like Kenta Kobayashi is going to swing a big left peg, and it's going to creep inside, but just drop short of the crossbar. And there is the Barbarians Brotherhood, clear to see.
Long may it continue.
Long may it continue. Long may freewheeling, try-scoring rugby afternoons like that continue. Quins will have a bit of soul-searching to do after that match, and especially the final 20 minutes. It has been a try-scoring masterclass from the most fated touring team in the world. And full time here at the Stoop, Harlequins 21, Barbarians 50.
Yeah, Barbarians were pleased with that one. They'll be going inside and getting themselves a few beers, and like we said, having a good time in London town tonight, but they deserve it.
Player cam a few of those players tonight.
Maybe a guest appearance from you, Simo. I've heard big things. I've heard good things.
No, those days are long gone, Bertie.
What do you make of that, guys? I mean, the wheels completely came off in that final 20 minutes, but boy, was it a fun ride.
Yeah, it sure was. I mean, great spectacle. Frustrating as a Quins fan to watch that. Looking ahead to next week, yeah, a lot of learnings, but yeah, they'll be annoyed.
You're kind of thankful that they've got the opportunity to play this Barbars team this week, and the mistakes and the rustiness and sorting out the maul, for example, or the transfer of the ball can be done in the week, and so they didn't have to do that in week 1 of the Premiership. They can go to another week of training, make the changes, and then be ready to go beat Gloucester.
Is that going to be alarm bells ringing in the changing rooms for Quins after that?
No, not at all. Pre-season's a funny old thing. You know, no doubt they'll turn up against Gloucester next week and do a job. So it's it's one of those. It happens every year.
Yes, we look at the Prem Cup and teams are losing to champ teams. It doesn't make a penny of doubt what's going to happen the next few weeks in the Premiership. It's all so different. So yeah, absolutely won't.
Well, why don't we hear from the architect of that fine Barbarians victory, Laurie Fisher, who's down there with the main man, D-Raj.
What a way to end a tour. The players are just coming through the tunnel there. 50 points here at the Stoop. You must be delighted.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic effort from our boys. It was tight reasonably in the first half. We started poor in the second half, but our last 30 was outstanding.
And what were the conversations you had then? Because at the end of the tour, it's easy to take your foot off the gas and maybe do a bit more of the off-the-pitch Barbarians as opposed to the on-the-pitch Barbarians, but there was none of that with this group.
Oh no, look, we were about improving as the tour went on. It was over a 6-week tour, you've got the opportunity to spend some time training, give a little bit of feedback, so we wanted to enjoy ourselves, but we wanted to end the tour better football than we started the tour, and I think that's a great testament to the lads.
You'll be heading home with some great victories, but what are you most proud of and pleased with about this group?
The way that they just melded together as different nationalities, particularly the Japanese and the Australian boys that 6 weeks ago they'd never met each other. They finished today as best of mates, and that's fantastic.
Well, boys are heading home tomorrow, but plans for celebrations tonight?
Oh, it'll be a tough whole night for sure, yeah.
Hey, good luck with that. Thanks for having a chat. Congratulations. Right, stick with us because we're going to be catching up with some Harlequins at some point, but obviously there are some tough words to be had before that, but so many positives to focus on. Fans still here, looking forward to catching up with some players for photos and autographs, but in the meantime, Burnsy, tell us a story.
Tell you a story. Well, I can tell you a story of an absolutely exceptional try-scoring afternoon. It may not have gone the way of the home side, and viewers will be tuning in. Will be disappointed to see their men in quarters not come out on top like they did in this challenge not even a year ago, back in November. That's how fast time flies in this rugby calendar. But as we heard from Simo just there before he hopped down was that this is not going to be too grave a concern for the group. There is bigger challenges and more meaningful challenges to come, and ultimately they're playing against an international pedigree Barbarian side. Maybe not all of the most well-known games, those household names that you see take to the field at Twickenham when they play South Africa and the All Blacks and the like. But Bryony, genuine world-class quality in there, and also an afternoon where it simply all clicked for the Barbarians.
Yeah, we also forget they've had 7 weeks together, so they're not just a normal Barbars team that gets put together for that weekend and they train the week. These have had 7 weeks together to produce this performance, and they've actually lost the last couple of games they've played, so they wanted to put out a show, but they might not be household names. But I tell you what, when I first turned up today and we were talking about it, it was very much Quins will be playing Australia A as such, and Australia A aren't a bad team, and we saw it out there today. The likes of Tom Wright, I knew him before I came, but he truly was awesome today, on the ball, off the ball, and then the likes of Dan Gunu, a lot of them played extremely well. Sometimes it clicks for you, and today it clicked for them.
Well, the tale of two teams. Quins file off, looking dejected, and well, for the Barbarians, the spoils, and I use the word brotherhood. And Bridie, you mentioned as well, they've been together for 7 weeks on tour, away from their friends and family, and they've had a good old time. But they'll have the best time, no doubt, of the whole 7 weeks come this evening, because they are celebrating a half-century of points at the Stoop. Ned Hannigan, he really showed up well in that second half, particularly the final quarter. Just getting together with a few more of the Aussies, but let's not call it from here. Let's get right down into the heart of the action. Dave is down there on the pitch still.
Well, the guys are going to come down and join the pitch side. The Quins players have just gone back in for a debrief in the changing room, and as soon as they come back out, we'll get some post-match reaction for them, and then we will look forward to Gloucester and then Exeter as the Premiership gets underway. As you know, 2 games today, Harlequins here and Harlequins up in Nottingham. The last we checked, the young team were victorious up at Lady Bay to end the Premiership Cup campaign with a victory. But just take a look at this. We often talk about what rugby's all about. We've got some victorious Barbarians there. They're going to celebrate as a team at the end of a long 7-week tour. And what a tour as well. 50-point victors here at the Stoop. And I'm scared to go and interrupt them. I think they're going to be wreaking havoc on West London this evening. But just take a look, take a walk with me here. We've got all the supporters here, supporters of all ages. I think that's a Leicester Tigers shirt on there. That's because everybody loves to come and watch the Quins. And we spoke to Matt Simmons earlier. He says he's got all his family coming. We've got the youngsters here as well, out on the pitch. Harlequins jerseys, Barbarians jerseys. And I know we say it, and sometimes it sounds a little bit cheesy, a little bit eggy, but this is very much what it's all about. Here at the Stoop, of course, there are plenty of opportunities for you to come on down. If you've liked what you've seen today, plenty of tries from both teams, and there are still tickets available. Your first opportunity is to watch the women against Loughborough Lightning. That is kicking off at the Stoop on Saturday, and then the men get the Premiership campaign underway against Gloucester. Oh yeah, come jump in. Congratulations, mate, to come here and score 50 points at the end of an unbelievable tour. You must be absolutely knackered, but absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, absolutely knackered. It's a great way to put it. This first 20 minutes we're all cooked. Yeah, it's been a great tour. So much fun over here, and just the experience that all the boys have gained from coming to great grounds like this and playing quality teams. It's been, yeah, it's probably the best tour I've ever been on, so it's a great way to top it off.
Tell us about this bunch of boys then.
Yeah, it's a great bunch of lads, you know. There's a majority of Australians, and then we've had the Japanese guys in, and the way we've just come together as a team over these 6 weeks, yeah, look, I just credit to them. It's, like I said, been a tour of a lifetime.
Talk to us about the process then, because I think there's just the misconception that it's very social, and the rugby comes secondary. But I think anybody who's watched you on this tour, follow the tour, or even just watch today will think that that is a misconception, because you've played some amazing stuff.
Yeah, well, I think because of the nature of it, we were sort of over here as back up to the World Cup, so we had to have some sort of training and some sort of game plan as well to sort of stick by. But it wasn't overly structured. I think just the quality of players we have here, and like I said, how we've come together as a group, I think we're always going to play pretty well, especially towards the back end here. So, yeah, look, it's been a great mix of quality rugby and quality off-field adventures as well.
Well, we can't talk about those because it's not 9 o'clock yet. But what about the West London welcome then? How have the people here at the Stoop made you feel?
Yeah, so good. Like I said, everywhere we've been, it's been so welcoming, and just the culture over here, how they get around their rugby, it's eye-opening, and you can see why it's so successful over here.
Big night tonight?
No, just a little one. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we'll have a couple. It's been a big tour, so we'll top it off.
Well, you've absolutely deserved it. Thank you so much for having a chat. Get back to the lads. Cherish that jersey because you've done it proud. How good. I mean, look, if you're a Harlequins fan watching this, you are not going to be super happy, but we are always super happy to see James Chisholm not once but twice in the same show. Result-wise, not great, but there are always positives to focus on after every game. Opportunities for people to play, a couple of great tries, and as always, a Stoop faithful who absolutely love you. Have you got a message for the fans first?
Yeah, thanks for coming. Hopefully they enjoyed the kind of experience of the Barbarians at Stoop, which is obviously very, very exciting. We need their support for the coming weeks, and we love playing here. It's a bit cliche, but it honestly is one of the best places to play. Well, to be honest, it is the best place to play. When you get down here on a Friday night, Saturday afternoon, it is pumping, it's rocking, and there's a lot of rugby on. So thanks very much for coming down, and yeah, see you in a couple of weeks.
How much have you enjoyed getting back at it?
Yeah, it's been good. It's obviously been a long old wait. It's tough coming back, having not played. Everyone obviously not played for a long time, so it's been really good. I've enjoyed it a lot. It was a bit of a shame that one, you just felt like you were chasing shadows, so incredibly frustrated, but you're sort of just ticking boxes each time and then hopefully run into the next couple of weeks.
Let's talk turnaround time then, because it's not long. The Premiership season is round the corner. Let's talk ambitions, because this is a really exciting group of players, and I'm sure the supporters, the coaches and yourselves are not going to let today's result get in the way of a great start to the season.
No, of course not. Ultimately, it's another chance to review where we're at. I think if we're really brutally honest, at the end there's some guys, me included, coming off the bench that probably aren't quite there, and hopefully that little blast there has put us in a good position fitness-wise for the next couple of weeks. And our ambitions are to win the whole competition. Unfortunately, there's 9 other clubs that have the same ambition, but we feel like we're in a good place. Danny's added a lot. The new signings have added a lot, and it's just now building blocks. You have to start well when your internationals away, and then the Six Nations, which is obviously a long way away. You have to get that right in the past. I know this year it's a little bit different, but these blocks are really, really important.
And a quick word on this Barbarians team, because they have been a joy to watch, and I'd imagine a nightmare to play against.
Yeah, like I said, just chasing shadows. And it's not only playing Barbarians fashion, especially in the last 30. They're big and strong. They're not playing. They weren't playing a traditional Barbarians way of we'll run from everywhere, we'll do overhead kicks, we'll do mental stuff. They were very, very physical, big lads. A lot of guys have obviously missed out in going to the World Cup across the road, so it was as close as a few of us will get to international rugby, to be honest with you.
Looked like hard work, and I'm very much looking forward to that hard work continuing. Thank you for having a chat, mate. Always a pleasure. Enjoy this evening, and good luck for the start of the season. We have a Will Porter. Welcome to Harlequins. You've had an amazing few weeks. It's been great to watch you and find out a little bit about what you're going to offer to this famous jersey. How's it felt to be out there?
It's been great, to be fair. Like, playing at the Stoop is amazing. This group of players is so much fun to play with. The style of play we like to play is awesome. So I've had the best pre-season. I'm loving it so far.
It feels like so long since you were announced. We've been waiting to see you out there for so long, but you're here now. How has the build-up been? Because you've known you were coming here for a long time. Everyone said that the pre-season has literally lasted forever, but now raring to go.
Yeah, raring to go indeed. The running has stopped, which is good. As soon as that's over in pre-season, that's always a positive. So yeah, now focusing straight on matches, which is great. Obviously we've had a lot of pre-season games. I've only played in the last one and this one, and now looking forward to the Prem next week. So we've had all the preparation, we've got all the chances. Hopefully we've got enough in place to go down to Gloucester and pull out a result.
Have you enjoyed the first couple of games? You certainly look like you have.
I have, yeah. Maybe last week a little bit more than this week. Should have done better today, but I mean, yeah, again, the style of play we play is so exciting, not only to watch but to be in as well. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Well, your style of play is exciting, but the Barbarians is as well. They gave you a hell of a game today.
Yeah, they did. We knew what they were going to bring. They got some silly good individuals, and you know the way they can offload the ball and run at you is quite scary at times, if I'm honest. Well, for a 9 it is quite scary. So no, they're a great team. We knew what they're going to bring. They just got us physicality-wise, and you know they have the license to throw out at the back and do some exciting things, which they did, and that's what they can do to you, and they have that sort of thing. So we should have done better, but no, fair play to them. They had an unreal team. They played well.
What sort of welcome have you had from the supporters and the people around the local area who absolutely love this club and the players?
No, they've been great. The die-hard Harlequins fans are a good group. They're a good group. We obviously had that training day a few weeks ago where we trained in front of the fans, and that was awesome. Got to meet everyone. You know, all the kids coming down and getting their things signed. So they look like a very welcoming group. I feel at home already. So yeah, I'm having a great time, and they're unreal.
And in your career, you've had some great battles against Harlequins, whether it's been with Wasps or with Bristol Bears. How is it playing here in the quarters as opposed to in another team's jersey?
Yeah, it's definitely more friendly when you're on Harlequins' side in the Stoop, that's for sure. Yeah, so have this crowd, this stadium, which is unreal, behind you is a huge deal. And you know, this jersey has a lot of history to it, and I'm aware of that coming in. I've learned that throughout the pre-season, so it's an honour to wear it. And yeah, just looking forward to the season ahead and what we can do for this jersey, including myself.
Great to have you here. Good luck this season. Go be with the lads and get ready, because Gloucester will be around. Right then, let's have a little look around. Is there anyone else we can have a chat with? Let's bring in Burnsy and Bryony. Come and have a chat. No, don't shake your head at me, Burnsy. Just you've just commentated on the Barbarians. Come on, in you come. Mainly because we're in matching outfits and I think it's cute. We talked about fun and games beforehand, and it was fun and games, but mostly for the Barbarians. They were unbelievable, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I loved it when they come in and they're about to do a trick play, and you can tell it's about to happen, but you unfortunately just don't know what's going to happen. And then they put out a couple of trick plays on Quins, and yeah, it was awesome to watch them. But then I thought Grant, he had his own little few moments, special moments out there too. So it's great to see both teams playing, but unfortunately Barbars came out the better side of things.
That boy loves scoring tries. You do as well. So in terms of the event itself and people here, everyone enjoyed it. I think towards the end everyone was cheering for the Barbarians too. It's going to be difficult to wash this off, but I think part of this great team is the fact that, yeah, this 80 minutes is done, you move on to the next one, and this group are going to have to do that now with Gloucester around the corner.
Yeah, like, they wouldn't come in today, like, the result means nothing to them. It was more getting out there, performing, working combinations, working partnerships. They'll have some things to go away in the week, but ultimately it's better that they've probably underperformed today than it is next week. So this week they'll go away, they'll go back to the drawing board, and they'll be totally ready to come next week, Gloucester.
Okay, we're going to wash this off ourselves now, and we're going to talk about you and Harlequins women and Loughborough Lightning here at the Stoop next week, and everyone watching should come and get a ticket. What can they look forward to if they do?
Oh, we play like the Barbars, I heard. That's what I heard. No, we do have a couple of trick plays up our sleeve, so we get them out when things are going well. But no, like, we play with freedom, just like the Quins men. It's kind of our DNA. We talk about it in meetings. We talk about it as a group, that bravery to play, and that's what we do as well. So, like you see here, where most teams exit, we might not, and Barbars don't, and even Quins men don't. So that's what we play with, and we love that freedom to play. So yeah, next week, isn't it? Here at Loughborough at the Stoop. We love it here, and I promise you'll be entertained if they come on down.
You hear that? You've got a promise from a red rose. Come down here and be entertained. And thank you so much for today. Thank you for having a chat. I'm going to have one more little look around to see if we can grab somebody. Jordan, come here. We're grabbing people on the fly to get a reaction. Not the result you wanted, but some really valuable minutes for you and some of the guys. How physical was it out there, and how much did you enjoy being back in the quarters here at the Stoop?
Obviously, being back at the Stoop's really good. Obviously, a very good experience being out there with the boys. I think we were just a little bit off it today. But nonetheless, getting those minutes under the belt was really good. Valuable minutes, like you said, going into the season, can lead on from that.
And you say you were a little bit off it today. Do you think those things are fixable? Do you think this is a great chance to put things right before the Prem gets underway?
Yeah, definitely. Like it was said before, we haven't seen this in other games previously. We haven't seen this leading up to the game in training, so it's definitely fixable. And yeah, I'm sure we'll be on it.
And talk to us about the Barbarians, because of course they came to play, they always do. They're coming towards the end of a long tour, just as you're coming to the start of a long season. What was it like to step out there against another famous team?
Yeah, that's obviously another really good experience. You don't often get to play against the Barbarians, so when you do, you obviously take the opportunity by the horns and give it what you can. Unfortunately today we weren't quite there, so yeah. We'll move on from that and take that into the season.
And for you personally, any ambitions for the year?
Get more minutes in the quarters.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for having a chat. Right then, I think we should call it there, otherwise we'll end up talking to absolutely everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. There'll be loads of live stream games this year on Harlequins, YouTube, TikTok and all the social platforms, whether it's the Academy, whether it's the women's team, or if there are a few more games like this that are outside of the Premiership, we'll make sure that you've got the opportunity to have eyes on it. On behalf of all of us here at Harlequins, thank you for joining us. Huge congratulations to the Barbarians. A half century here at the Stoop. That doesn't happen too often, and hopefully next time it does, it'll be the team in the quarters that have scored it. Brilliant day, despite the result. All of the supporters had a great time. The players are all around signing the autographs now. If you want the opportunity to meet those guys, then make sure you get yourself down here. But until you do, I will bid you adieu.